All right, everybody. Hello and welcome. It's me, it's Jerry, and we are here. My camera's looking really shoddy. Not too sure what that's about. I'll try and get that sorted. But I'm here today, and we have ourselves some games. The Blast R6 EU Close Qualifier. So these are the Tier 1 teams that will be potentially competing in the R6 Combine, and I'm thrilled to be joined by none other than Drake. Let's get Drake up on screen. Hello. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm fantastic. A bit too warm, but fantastic, because we're going to see some Siege. Finally. Again, T1 Siege even. Imagine that.
I know. It's been too long. And it's True. Tier 1 and it's Tier 2 and it's Tier 3 and it's all mingled in together. And we're very excited about it. So we have our game pretty much ready to start going. So we're actually going to jump straight on into the map ban just to show you how that went down. But it will sort of play at its own rate. We got this lovely setup that's been sent our way by the folks running R6 Combine. So if you're recognizing these graphics, because everyone has them, it's very, very nice to have that kind of unified style. And it's worth mentioning as well at this point that we have so many community streams going on, not just mine, but we've got Chams, we've got Freshies, Whippet and Gibson are going to be running one later on, I believe, and a ton of alternate language ones. And then, of course, there's the main broadcast over on R6 Bravo with, I believe, Silver and Grace casting that. So very exciting to have all these games covered. And as the Batman phase plays through, we get to see that Border is on the docket here. And that, it surprised me when I got a little bit of a preview of that earlier, Drake. Do you want to maybe chat to us a little bit about Border and these two squads? Because,
oh, God.
Yeah,
yeah, well, it's...
Eminem's been on a good run, whereas Heroic really haven't.
Yeah, it's... I mean, I said it earlier, it's just possibly going to be a lot of just gunning around because, let's be honest, Border is not really that strat heavy.
No.
So I truly believe these teams are just going to fight it out, gun to gun, and that's about it.
And
so that's what I expect.
That is what we expect. We are straight on into the game right now, ladies and gents. So here we are. Border. Round 1, and it is Eminem Gaming versus Heroic. I currently can't hear the audio, so I'm going to try and sort that out, but hopefully everyone at home can. I can see that you all can, so no problems for you. Drake, I think you're probably alright as well. Just me.
Just you.
Community quals days, you know, I'm trying to run the whole show as well here. I'm not used to doing this, but it's fun. We'll work with it.
No, I'm just grateful that you're doing it. Just straight up saying it. So, okay, oh, I'm seeing a Fenrir. That's interesting. I've actually, I have played Siege like a week ago. And that means something. I have not played Siege for a solid like half a year or so. Since I've stopped coaching, I've just not played Siege. And I've played Siege a few weeks ago, and I played against Fenrir, and I didn't like it.
Nope, it is an awful experience, honestly.
Yeah, just,
it's like playing against a mirror, but you don't know where the mirror is at any given moment. It's terrifying.
Pretty solid concept.
Yeah, very solid concept. All right, I'm almost there with the audio, but we don't need audio to cast around. We're good enough. I'm gonna back myself for this one. Some bans as well worth mentioning once we get the chance. There's Valk is out, but of course that leaves so many power-ups. You got the Fenrir, you got the Azami, and the Solace, which is in play as well, and Mirror. Very strong operators on this map, and as a minute has gone by, we see that Eminem Gaming are struggling to deal with that number and that power level of defenders. We've got this extension towards East Balcony, a very popular position, a popular kind of setup nowadays to really control the whole of the map, because there's so little area that you can really give up. If you gain that east stairs control, then you've got a lot of control overall. Solotov though will take out Heroic.Cream, who will prove to be a very problematic name for us moving forward as casters, because there is also Cream.Heroic, the Fenrir, who he's trying to deal with right here inside a break room. Blaz in the meantime on that mirror has been downed inside of office, so that should be some good free utility, free ground that Heroic have now lost, and Eminem will gain. But the fight back is there. Cream.Heroic takes down Nello, and that now really trapped in a corner. Solotov takes down Doom in a 4 versus 2. This is Border, ladies and gents. There's no stopping the train once it gets rolling, and Uno is the last alive. 1 minute 12 on the clock. He has to delay for so long, try and find some picks, but no. Tyrant's there to close it out. Very quick opening round here from Eminem, setting the blistering pace.
be honest, that's sort of what I expect happening all game long, just not happening a lot in the attack, and then everything's gonna happen at once. That's typically how it plays out, because you have to kind of get over this threshold of, let's say, East stairs, and once you're there, it's pretty easy work. And I mean, M&M, we all know that they can shoot. Like, right?
Yeah.
We all know it.
We've
just seen it.
They had such a good major.
Yeah.
I alluded to it in the setup, right? There's been very differing tales for these two teams over the past few months, and M&M Gaming just seem to be on this slow but steady rise. They've continually improved, continually pushed the boat, and kept getting these incredible performances. Made it all the way to Copenhagen, and were, I believe, the team with the most maps played, even by the end of the tournament, despite not making the playoffs. They had a fantastic run, and were just pipped at the post to actually making the stage, unfortunately for them. But don't let that fool you. They've been really, really strong. Solotov in particular had a worldie of a tournament, and was, pegged for an MVP performance, if not for the likes of KZ and the W7M lot, even despite going out at that early stage. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on Hit.
Of course, and also Tyrant. Like, let's just talk about the two guys that have kills right now. Tyrant and Solotov, two people that just straight up gun their way through. And I have to say, Nave has been, in my opinion, a really good addition to M&M. I think he's brought something into M&M. It feels more like structured, if I might even say. Like, it's more structured gunning instead of, okay, let's just do something and hope it works. That's what it sometimes felt before, but now this M&M seems really strong, and I really hope that we can see something from them that, they can kind of go further than just group stage and first playoff match, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, it's been this kind of long-standing debate about M&M. Do they have enough to make it? But it really has been a gradual ascent, and there's no other team besides besides W7M, I'd argue, that have been this consistent over so long. Maybe Wolves, I'd say, like, the teams that constantly make it to majors. But yeah, they're just that little bit behind, it would seem. But Nath, definitely an upgrade. Definitely an upgrade. Well, we're 1 minute into Border, and surprisingly, nobody has died. This is a much slower round than the last one. We were able to waffle on about M&M's story. We'll get to Heroic in the meantime, or in due course. They're trying to hold fast for now. Tyrant underneath CCTV has an idea of the location of the Fenrir, but that nade will not be sent out. Instead, the EE1D doesn't lock him in place successfully. He falls back to the safe, secure ground of 90. No destructible floor in that long hallway that splits the top half of the map in twain.
I do have to say that there's quite a lot of people upstairs, so if M&M read this, and it kind of looks like it, they're gonna try to just get their stuff in, but hell no. Joom is just gonna say no, double kill for him, and with that, 3 versus 5 on this, it's pretty tough. I mean, that's a really good crossfire. You just wasn't aware of that, let's be honest about that. And with that, they have a solid way of going for it, but then there's a lot of space lost again, and now it's only Nello and users that just have to try to find a way inside, which arguably is not that far away, but still takes some gaming for people against them. It's not going to be easy.
It takes gaming. It always takes gaming. Oh, tasty headshot coming out from users there.
See?
Just jiggle peeking Joom, who was pre-firing the hatch, but, stayed there a bit too long, and they make up for some of those easy kills that they've given away in the first, 2 minutes of this round. Now only 30 seconds left. Nello and users have to do something quite drastic here. Still vertical control in the side of Heroic as the mirror watching from above, but that smoke is going to provide the visual cover. The C4 sent out will be shot out. Users takes down the mirror, and they're spraying for the planter, but he's not there. 2 versus 2, and the diffuser has been re-established, re-picked up.
That's
going to
try
and go for a second plant, maybe inside of stock. It's very tetchy. Users, though, on the cover is supreme. Takes down Cream. Nello still sticking the diffuser as Blaz is above. He has to time this perfectly. Sends out the impact as some cover, but no, he has no idea. He's looking the wrong way, and they're both out the main door. Users claims it for his own. And what a 2 versus 4 coming out from M&M.
Sorry, but gaming? Hello? 2v4 gaming. They just made it happen. That's what I've been saying. Like, the side was basically clear, and M&M just had to find a way inside, and that's about it. And I mean, obviously, Nello, he's so experienced, he's going to shuffle that diffuser all around the freaking bomb side, and eventually he's going to get it down. That's the truth. That's the truth. Like, Nello did a great job here. Let's not forget, users just, you know, gunning, obviously. But Nello's way of dealing with this and not just being inside and instantly planting and just trying to stick it. No, he starts it, he baits out some players and stuff. It's perfectly played, not gonna lie.
Now, I am considerably in the dark because I, one, am very poorly connected, but two, I'm very forgetful, and we encountered this heroic lineup. It needs addressing, right? We encountered this heroic lineup a few weeks ago. They were doing a couple of different things here or there. I think they played a Go 5. They were involved in some other qualifiers. And we have seen cream.heroic and heroic.cream before. And I'm pretty sure I had the names explained to me. So if anyone in chat is more filled in than I am on the cream situation, if you're cream filled, so to speak, then do let us know. Do let us know. Do let us know. I meant like a donut, okay? Anyhow.
I don't know what you're thinking. I'm not thinking in a wrong way.
No. Now you are. That's the problem. I wasn't. I was being all innocent. I'm just a little moron.
Yeah.
I'm just a little moron who didn't think about the meaning of his words. But everyone else has their minds in the gutter. All right. Anyway, back to the game at hand. 30 seconds has elapsed, and we have the Solis Fenrir Mirror trio that we're probably likely to see throughout the whole game. So powerful on the defense. Hasn't worked yet though.
I don't want it. I mean, no, never mind. I just haven't played the game enough. It's just the moment I wanted to say it, I was like, it doesn't make sense. Just don't say it.
Solotov.
Oh, Solotov, he's just gunning. He's feeling it.
It's what he does. It's what he does. You can't stop it. This is the thing. The trio of Users, Tyrant, and Solotov, if one of them doesn't turn up, usually the other two will. If only one of them turns up, then Eminem have problems. Right now, all three have. That means Heroic have problems. Cream, down for the count. Heroic, down for the count. The duo, the mystery duo, are missing in action, and Tyrant, Users, and Solotov have all made their mark in this game. Blaz and Uno, the last alive, as they cannot catch a break, can they? Uno tries to find some ground, but immediately the mirror window dispelled in front of his very eyes by the drone. So, what do you do? What do you do? Well, not even by the drone. That was from the shot from an Argus camera, I believe. Uno takes out Solotov, but immediately struck back on by Nello. And Tyrant catches Blaz unawares, up 90. Again.
Just being overrun.
Just so fast from Eminem.
Fast and clean. Like, I just want to point out that Heroic basically wasted 2 C4s because they had no intel. And they were like, okay, we need to get a pick because, I mean, it's a 2v5, 2v4. You have to get that pick to kind of level out the people on the playfield, so to say. And Heroic just straight up wasted 2 C4s because of that situation. That really just shows how Heroic right now is really struggling to kind of get a grip on what Eminem is doing. And in that sentence, I have to say, Eminem sort of been unpredictable. Like, we have 2 fast rounds, round 1 and 2, both on Armory, pretty fast. And then we have the 1 round in between where it's a 2v4 and they still get it done really slow, but very methodically. And Heroic just can't get a read on it right now. So, gonna be honest, timeout, just about right.
Makes sense. Makes sense. You lose 3 rounds in a row, it's got to happen. Especially on your defense. You're supposed to, not necessarily on border, but usually take control of the game on the defense in some regard. And it's just not happening for Heroic. They are up against stiff opposition. We will say that. Eminem are hot off the press. Hot off that Copenhagen major run. Obviously, it ended disappointingly for them, but I think they can be proud of the performance, and they will have that mentality. They've been very kind of steadfast in the way that they've approached competition in the past 6 months, a year, longer than that. So, yeah, this is quite a drubbing right now. And Heroic, they started stage 1 so well. They had 2 wins off the back of their first wins, and then it just plummeted. They could not buy a round. They could not buy a map after that point. So, yeah, some drastic changes were needed. Mr. Officer has come out and said that there's some interesting and surprising ones that are soon to be revealed. And you got to imagine that this is the sort of the final test for them, at least. Or maybe this one. There is, of course, a couple of weekends away from now, this same competition, essentially, the Tier 1 qualifier, but for Rainbow Rumble, which should be exciting. So we'll get to see all of these teams most likely in action again, trying to qualify for yet another off-season tournament.
I love this format. I love it. You know, all the people talking like negatively.
Give
just
me all the quals.
Teeny tiny bit of, you know, it's not T2 and T3 on its own. It's just all combined. Well, it's combined. What we're doing right now, so you know. But I love it. It's just a lot of games. It's a lot of potential different teams. It's nice to see. We see T1, we see T2, we see T3. We theoretically even could see T4 teams. So no one is being stopped, essentially. And I love it.
Well, this is a community cast, so we set our own rules here. I will get round to thanking everyone that's followed and all this sort of stuff. But for the time being, we'll focus on the action because Solotov is continuing to deliver it. He just has no breaks, like we said. 5-2, and he finds Uno for the start of this round, who's been fairly good at being one of the last few alive. So now losing that backline player could cause some internal issues in terms of the heroic structure. But that said, never a bad thing to have your IGL sitting on cams, guiding the rest of you. So maybe this is the steady hand that they need to have a bit of a bounce back in this round. They're going to need it. Whenever they've gone behind before, it's been pretty sort of convincingly won by M&M Gaming. Looks like that's going to continue to be the case as Tyrant and Solotov both strike yet again. Solotov with a triple. This man cannot be stopped. Useless with another. At this point,
these two.
Should I just put Tyrant uses Solotov on a repeating loop? I'm just going to say that into like my phone, just as a voice note. And I'll just play it back every 20 seconds or so. It would be just as good as a cast, I reckon. And accurate.
Yeah, accurate, definitely.
Solotov, users, Eminem, Solotov again. Just that. That's all we need.
It's gonna work. Like, that's the truth. It's just straight up gonna work. Man, my God. But
you don't have a lot to do here. I keep handing it off to you and being like, yeah, analyze that.
Yeah, analyze that.
I feel
wow,
sorry for you.
So well. I can analyze the Tyrant and Solotov are really good aimers.
Yeah.
So that's about it. Oh no, let's not forget users. So I'm sitting here being like, hey, I'm gonna tell you that Nathan and Nello actually are doing a job. They're not sitting around not doing stuff, you know.
They are droning, I guess.
They're
that makes the difference. You know, they're the backline. They're finding these kills for these players, but we're just not getting to see it because it's all so fast.
Exactly.
It's impossible. And Heroic are probably feeling the same way. They're sticking this Solace as well, and I really want to see what effect Blaz is having on the game, whether he's really making use of that gadget. We can see he's toggling it on and off even in the prep phase, so he's not just, you know, like a tier 4 gunner that will grab the most meta op and not know how to use them. We've seen a fair few of those over the past few days, but yeah, this is where we get to see these ops put to their best use, and I hope that we get to see Eminem defending with Fenrir, because at the moment we're not really being given a showcase of it by Heroic.
True. But then again, you know, you're talking about the Solace. Okay. Just think about it. Eminem definitely have had that on point, because they only lost 2 drones to that Solace in the prep phase.
Yeah, not bad.
Or, you know, possibly not even to that Solace, just losing drones in general in the prep phase. So they obviously know what to do. That's another problem that Heroic kind of have to find. And then at this point, I'm just going to be that guy that says, I don't know if it's worth just constantly picking the Solace then, if it doesn't really work out.
It's one of those tough calls, isn't it? Because you've got to make the judgment. But June does find the kill using this Fenrir that we've talked occasionally about. Wasn't due to the FNAP mines, which we really haven't seen come into action at all so far, but we'll get to see them surely over the course of the day. Now they're just holding this angle, making sure no one can rotate back out of East Stairs, and that is what Cream tries to do. He's immediately taken down. Just sensible play coming out from M&M. They have control. Great shot coming out from Naif as he walks into an FNAP mine within the site, but it will be dispelled. Now has to worry about the players above him. They've gone for a very direct take here, M&M, ignoring the roamers on the top floor. But Users is there again to try and lurk and try and cut off someone on the rotate. Oh, they know each other, are at the other end of each other's sights, and out comes those ex-Kairos to try and work it. They bait the engagement from the Bandit. Round swings the Oryx, gets the refrag, but Nello again on Overwatch to trade it out. Blaz the last alive above. Nello holds that diffuser though, so he has to rotate back around to try and get this round shut out. A minute to do so though, in a 3 versus 1. Surely they've got this.
Yeah, poor Blaz. I mean, now we come back to the Solace topic. he has the best operator to clutch this now.
Oh, absolutely.
But then again, we do see Nello with the case in hand, so how are the chances? Pretty slim, I might say. Because guaranteed Nello's going to be like, okay, I'm going to plant here, and someone's going to have it on the watch that either one's going up, which it looks like they're doing, that Naif is going up. Exactly that is happening, and then they're going to plan, bait the Solace, because she's in her thing. Actually, they're trading out. Okay. I'm not that good of a
we might have even seen 2 players ascend metal stairs there in the last. They decided to try and frag
yeah, because
out.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Like the Solace is obviously going to be upstairs, so you might as well just push her out.
It was very clean, very, very clean at the end. I mean, the direct trade obviously means we don't get to see the nature of that engagement, but Naif did enough. He got the kill, and 2 men left standing for M&M Gaming. They don't even need to set that diffuser down for certain. So yeah, left with about 40 seconds on the clock as well. So very decisive play. They didn't let it run down. They were the controllers of their own fate there, and they are controlling this game so far with ruthless efficacy. 5-0. Heroic just can't get a foothold. Doom is doing his best. He's been the one on Heroic lately to bring the kills, but everyone else is languishing on 1 or 2, and he's not that far ahead of those anyway. So yeah, this is a bit of a drubbing. Very much men versus boys at this point.
It's just Heroic straight up struggling. Let's put it out there, and I'm just really hoping that this is kind of like just struggling with this first game. And you've said it at the very beginning, M&M Gaming on Border, it's just not fun to play against. And I think Heroic is really feeling that right now. I mean, it's defense. We're talking about Border being attacker-sided anyway, because, you know, you do see it's a small map. You're in pretty easily. If you properly work together, you can push out those, you know, pressure points really easy. And so we just still have to wait for Heroic to do their attacks, but it's just, oh, that's true. Okay, Uno, we see you.
All right, okay, nice. Early pick.
Fair enough.
Goes in Uno's favor. I was going to make a point about the fact that M&M Gaming really do have quite a history against Heroic. These are sides that have been at each other's throats for donkey's years, and it used to be the case that Heroic, back when they were under the banner of Kavana, were the team that always came out on top on this matchup. And since sort of mid last year, M&M Gaming have completely turned that story around. They have always been on top, and right now it looks like they're on top of this round as they spot an opening. Nobody covering archives, and they go for a quick plant inside and push deep, but no one there to get the plant down. Unfortunately, they just, oh, it's a bait. That's what it is. They haven't even stopped the diffuser. They're just forcing the engagements. Brilliant play coming out from M&M Gaming, just waiting for the bodies of Heroic to come flooding back, and they've managed to put it into a 4 versus 2. Blaz has re-established himself inside the site, but he has a Monty to deal with now, who drops the shield, gets aggressive, expects one out of the smoke, gunned down by Blaz. Another as he whips out the Bailiff, and Doom tags on to take out Solotov. All up to users now. What a back and forth round. This BP cam is going to read users' position so easily. That smoke will not help him at all. The diffuser is down inside of archives as well, so he has to find these players. He has to force them out, but he's creeping round. M&M Gaming, they have to rely on the Glaz here. Doom takes a couple of pot shots, uses, whips out that bearing 9, pushing deep in towards 90, gets rid of that cam. Now a little bit less known about his potential position. He's going to move in through. Does have diffuser in hand now, but no smoke left to play with, so he has to use this gun. Has to find at least a kill before going. He's going to come down towards the metal stairs. Spots the Capcan trap, shoots it out. His position now known because of that audio cue. He's going to have to dance with the devil around these doorways. Someone at the bottom of the metal stairs doesn't quite find Doom, though, and Heroic finally put a stop to the train that is M&M Gaming in this first half and grabbed their first round.
It was Heroic. God, I hate myself for saying that.
Were you going to say it was a heroic play?
No, it's just
like you were.
I mean, it was. Let's. Yeah, of course. You know me. Of course, I'm gonna go there. But it's the truth. Like, let's face it. It was. You know, in the end, the 2 players just doing the work is obviously teamwork and everything, and that's arguably the first time that we've seen Heroic actually work as a team, or at least 2 people of this team work together. But up on that point, it was just, you know, it really was just Heroic gunfights just winning it out and therefore just, actually switching it over and being able to potentially actually win your first round. So, yeah, arguably Eminem could have done things differently. And it was a nice try in the end. But at this point, I really have to say, Heroic, the last 2 players actually did a good job. I like the positioning bottom metal stairs because as the glass, you really have to worry about the positions of the last 2 players, and they could be anywhere. So, really like that positioning. And it's like 1 round. It's so many more rounds to go. But hey, it's not the first time that we've seen 5-1 splits go the other way. We've seen Eminem Gaming do it often enough on Chalet.
They are serial bottlers sometimes. I feel as though this game shouldn't be out of their reach, though. But
no,
we've seen two versus 4s now already, and that one coming out from Heroic, they've had to truly fight for that 1 round, the only round that they've gotten so far, and it's going to take that constantly, I think, from Heroic to really get themselves back in this game. Maybe they will feel that advantage at the side swap now, as Heroic are attacking, and we have the bathroom defense, something we didn't see come out from Eminem Gaming or from Heroic on their defense. Doom, though, grabs the opening frag as the ace, just opening up some long lines of sight into Workshop, and it will collect Nath. Castle down for the count is never a big deal because, of course, he lays out all of his utility during the round. Solotov, though, out for the count is a big deal because he's the one that you might be looking to get some impactful frags, and the push is coming very quickly here. Blaz finding users. Doom has been down, so effectively 2 versus 4. And Nello may be able to pick up that confirm, but no, doesn't quite have the intel. Impact comes out to try and deny any early plants. Blaz, though, does take down Nello, and it will be Tyrant against the world. He finds a bit of Uno, but doesn't finish him off, and Blaz sweeps up the rest. A flawless round, in effect, from Heroic, and that is one way to put your foot down and say, we are not out of this match.
I'm telling you, attack on border is just different, but poor Tyrant stopped shooting because he thought he killed the Hibana.
Yeah, it happens.
Poor guy. I mean, to be honest, I thought that too. It just didn't happen.
Yeah.
Apparently. Yeah. But that was clean. Like, talking about the defenses basically really struggling, but then again, Heroic, at least in the first attack round, is just pushing out this aggressiveness that they just straight up did not show in the defense. But as I said so many times by now, border is really attack favored because you have so many ways to go at it and to just be fast. Because it's so small, it can go in really fast, it can put pressure on the defense, and that's exactly what happens. But, big but, I do think Eminem is like good enough to get a read on this and to, prep basically for the whole map, which we're seeing. Going bathroom again, they're like, okay, we know our mistakes, we're going to try to do it better now. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Like, look, no one is on side at this point. I mean, yeah, it's still prep phase, but no one is on side because you don't need someone on side, essentially.
No. What you need is people able to refrag, and that's what was lacking in that last round. Everyone on Eminem kind of spread out, trying to hold power positions and play for these 1 versus 1s, and they just didn't win them, quite simply. So if they have the ability to kind of have that setup where you rotate a little bit between each other based on the direction of the push, then that's the sort of success story that you're trying to find on this map. I think it's a real case of reading your opponents on the defense and adjusting accordingly. You can see all the Eminem bodies right now, they are very spread out, they are patrolling, but they need to react to whatever happens right now in these opening moments. And right now is Tyrant who will find Cream as that opening frag. A lot of pressure coming through onto this office side right now. You got 2 bodies stacked up here for Heroic as the nades are being sent on out. Users does get claimed by that second one. Doom will be happy with his results there. And 4 versus 4 now, and Heroic have good control above the site. Oh.
With that wallbang, Doom, I mean, he gets punished for it, and Tyrant just comes up the stairs and just, does Tyrant things. And from there on, all that control up top. I mean, they still have top control, but not completely. And they've lost a lot of people in the progress, so that Eminem even has 1 more on the board. And we do see Nave still up there, and I don't think that they have actually droned him. It could be that they still know that he's there and just straight up not droning him, but I'm a bit unsure how Heroic's gonna do this because essentially they have to clear the top floor, which we see them doing. But at this point, it really seems like no clue about Nave being upstairs, and they just have to waste so much time because there's 2 players, and they just have to go at it. And right now, they're pretty far away from each other for pushing Nave out.
Okay, but they are converging now. You can see this is, coming in from Archives. Blaz sort of stationed around those metal stairs. Starts to push the player, spots him for a second. Now Nath is in a bit of a rough spot. 56 seconds left though.
No.
Oh, genius. He rotates out. And now Blaz has to give chase, continuing around the map. But Nath finally picks his fight and stands his ground,
beautiful.
takes out Blaz. What a wonderful bit of individual play from Nath there. Uno, though, has to deliver some heroics for his team, but MNM will shut it down. Nello with a refrag on the Tyrant there. The player that really did carry them through, Tyrant. That round was a fantastic one from him, as they were down 2 bodies and he found 2 immediately in response.
I just love Nave action.
That was
just too good.
Absolutely beautiful from him. I wish I could be that ratty. It was beautiful.
Yes. Sometimes it's good to, be running away instead of just forcing the fight. And you could literally see that, I forgot, was it Blast? I think it was Blast, just chasing down and just completely not being prepared that he's just going to straight up stop running in CC and just maybe standing there. You don't expect it. It's just... Yeah, it was so good. It was well played from Nave. I love it. Just, from the fact that he started hiding and he wasted like 30, 45 seconds of Heroic's time to eventually just be running and still killing the guy that's chasing him. It's just, that's perfect. You can't play the situation in any better way. Love it.
No. And very importantly, M&M Gaming have that one defensive round that they now need to only match Heroic, right? Heroic have to play a flawless game here, 4 rounds on the trot, just to force overtime. If M&M Gaming can just find a second defense, which the way they're playing, looks like they're definitely capable of, then they'll see themselves through. This is, I should inform everyone, a double elimination bracket. So if Heroic lose here, they will get a second chance down in the lower bracket, while M&M Gaming advance to the upper semis. And it is the top 2 teams that make it through the double elim bracket to go all the way to the playoffs of the R6 Combine. And that means you win 2 best of 1s, you're through. It's as simple as that for M&M Gaming right now. They're 1 round and then 1 map away from securing themselves in the playoffs. But Cream.Heroic is there to say otherwise. Takes down Nello. Again, we've mentioned that. The impact of taking down your sort of backline, your hard support. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's what the defense need. Get on cams, guide those gunners. Solotov Tyrant new users still active in this round, and Heroic need to find an answer to this heavy CCTV hold that a pair of them are bringing out.
It's pretty quiet though. Like, we do see that M&M has intel on at least 1 player down in Password. So yeah, and they're just free to move. Like, look at this Solotov Red that more, and I'm not sure if he did that intentionally, but I'm pretty sure that he had at least had a gut feeling that he's being drone and being naded from below. So he's gonna move around, and now that's well played actually from Heroic, because you just shoot at him, so he has to stay in place, and the nade from below is just punishing you. Very well played, but I mean, it's 2v5. It's not like we've not seen a 2vx being clutched.
No, and we've seen a few of them so far. One from both sides. Tyrant and Nath are definitely a pair of names that you would back in any situation, even a 2 versus 5. They have that potential. Tyrant taking a duck out. Oh, he's right next to you. You didn't see him. Just go for another spot. There we go. Gets the sledge and spots the second Doom. And can he get the third? Not quite, but he does survive to fight another day. Cream.Heroic will take out Nath, and now Tyrant's position known. He's deep inside the map. He has to find this. Has to ace, like you say, to try and keep them in. But no, Heroic will find themselves a second attack round, and I want to say delay the inevitable, but they're finding a bit of momentum now.
Yeah, but they have to keep it going. That's the biggest problem, and let's face it, the momentum is more on M&M's side than Heroic's side. Because Heroic, I'm just going to say it, they're not going to be playing off of successful rounds, more playing like, okay, we got a round, we got to keep going. It's more a mental thing right now, And M&M just can lay back. Like, it can go 6-5, and then, you know, they can still try their best and get it to 7-5. No problem. They can literally just chill, which I don't think they're going to do. Let's face it, they want to end it as fast as possible, and I think they have a good chance because, you know, they've played Bathroom twice and have won it on the second time because they've known their mistakes. And the actually first round was pretty similar to the first round now in Armory. They're going Armory again. So guess what's going to happen?
Same setup. Same setup.
Yeah, it's just wait for it. I'm so gonna fall in that. I smell it, but I'm gonna stick with it.
Well, you just wait. You just wait. I'll wait with you. Yeah. In the meantime,
nice.
I just want to say something that Tyrant is having an unbelievable second half.
Yeah.
You know, he carried that victory on the Bathroom defense, and in that last round, looked like he could have rescued it at the death as well for M&M. So he's one of these players where you think Solotov stole a lot of the limelight when it came to Copenhagen, but I always think of him as an incredible attacking player. I picture him on that sledge and nothing can stop him. When it comes over to the defense, I feel like Tyrant is his equal a lot of the time, and that is a scary thing because Tyrant is, well, Solotov is also a pretty damn good defender. So it's a bit scary when both of these players are really locked in, and Heroic, despite taking control of rounds, always feel like they're in danger, and Tyrant is a big part of that.
Heroic doing?
Just opening up that wall. Got the nade to try and remove any denial. It's a
there's still a player in CC. Like, you could have, you know, done stuff differently. But hey, I'm not gonna complain. You know, they're the pros here. But you know, you talked about Tyrant. Let's just note that Tyrant did a kill.
12 and 5.
And yeah, so Heroic is just, I don't know, they're struggling. You know, it's more or less exactly what I said. M&M playing the side for the second time, they know what they did wrong. Heroic is not going to change much because why would they work the first time, right? So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to nade Solotov, you're going to go in CC, you're going to, you know, win your gunfights. That's working out pretty well, but
it's like you're talking it into existence. You're just saying, yeah, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and Blaz does exactly that. But taken down.
We have a connection, you know?
Yeah, he's psychic. 3 versus 3, and they have to try and regain this control that they almost took completely. But Tyrant is there yet again, and now M&M Gaming in the ascendancy. Only 2 players stand in their way. They should be heading to those semi-finals very shortly, unless Cream and Uno can do something about it. 1 minute and 6 seconds left on the clock. Uno holds Diffuser as this Twitch. He's got DMR in hand, and you've got Cream with the slightly more deadly G36C, trying to find his way through the map. Just pick someone out. Anyone at this point would be a boon. Working from beneath, has the one nade, but this is blind. He's just guessing how it goes. Nothing on the other end of it. Still 2 versus 3. 45 seconds left now. Uno fishing for someone inside of Armory. He knows that the Warden's on the other end of this. Does connect with the head of Nath, but Cream taken down at the top metal. It's all got to be Uno. He finds Tyrant. 1 versus 1. Nello versus Uno. The old guard up against each other. Which IGL will win it out? Shotgun in hand for Nello. He's going to rotate round to the A site, but Uno has an opening. He can get this plant down. In the 2 versus 3 it was. He's taken it down to this mano-a-mano situation. Out goes the C4. That could be it. No. Uno dashes forward into Nello, and he takes him down. Nello, of all people, to seal out the game. And a fantastic one from M&M. Solotov, Users, Tyrant especially, all gunning. But when the chips are down, you know who to rely on. It's Nello.
That's just... I mean, I predicted it. Not the way it happened, but I predicted it. Beautiful. And I'm just going to say that.
What a beautiful game there. 14 and 6 for Tyrant as well. If we come back to ourselves, that was a fantastic one to start things off. What a showing from M&M, especially on that map. Just controlling the game. Great, great first half. 5 rounds on the trot is just the way you want to start your qualifier run. And that puts them into the semi-finals. We do not have word of all the other games that are going on, so I'm going to go and check them out. You should go and check them out too if you're watching, because we're going to be back very shortly with hopefully one of the next games. We don't know whether we'll take upper bracket or lower bracket. It's Quals Day, baby. Anything could happen. See you in a bit. See you in a bit. And... Alright, hello everybody and welcome back to the R6 Central Combine Blast R6 EU closed qualifier. We have ourselves a lower bracket game. We're going to be sticking with Heroic versus Team Secret they're now up against, who've both lost their first games and now need to stay in the competition by winning everything they can up until that final lower bracket final. Or low bracket final, low bracket semi. It gets confusing in the low bracket. The last two teams in the whole thing go through, and this is last chance saloon for them. I'm Jerry, and I'm joined by the wonderful Drake. So let's get Drake on screen. Hello, Drake. How you doing?
Hello, I'm doing good. I'm looking forward to some more nice heroic plays. Hopefully, fingers crossed. You know.
Yeah, they struggled to get them together on that last map, so we'll have to see how that goes. We're going to whip through the map bans for you right now because they have gone on behind the scenes, and you get to see how this has gone through. Heroic versus Team. Interesting. It should say Team Secret. I believe it's just not going to fit properly on the whole thing. That's not my fault, peeps. I am not taking responsibility for that. It's just broken. So we get to see the ban phase come through. It's just a team. This is Team Secret. They are a team, though. It's important. Yeah. If you're not a team, then what's the point? So Border, Villa, Skyscraper Cafe, Oregon Chalet, all gone. So you got Club left, and that has been removed by Team Secret, leaving a couple of maps. Bank is out, so that leaves Theme Park, which is an exciting one to be heading to for these two sides especially. I don't think I've seen them play on Theme Park ever. We were going through the kind of match history of these two teams. And, well, we're going to get to head straight on into the game here because the ban phase is already well underway on Theme Park. And it was a Monty ban, the first one coming out from Team Secret. And now Heroic removing the Dokkaebi. So a pair of very annoying operators that you don't have to deal with now on the defense.
And Docker is being banned quite regularly by now. And just to keep a note on that, Heroic did ban Docker on the M&M game too. So, you know, maybe they're going to go for the Valk too. Let's see. Ah, look at that. Heroic is really, you know, changing up the ways they play. Not. Yeah. At least not with the bans yet.
Perfectly predicted there. Nicely done. A mirror the final ban. A very strong operator on this map. So understandable to see her go. Of course, we were talking about the power of these defenders now. You've got Azami, you've got Valk, you've got Solis, you've got Mirror, and you've got Fenrir. 3 of those have made it through. So expecting to see a fair amount of Fenrir for certain. Azami, an excellent choice on this map. Solis not going to be brought out for this opening round, it would seem, by Secret. But I feel like it's only a matter of time. Solis will have her place here. We're going down to Armory Throne for the first defense. And while they do their setup, while they get their things going, let's have a little chat about these teams because we didn't really get to do that. I was saying in the prep that Team Secret, this is basically a Yukin side, right? They've, you know, Kendry's long-standing tenure on Team Secret has come to an end, and it's finally a Yukin takeover. Not that he wasn't part of the Yukin scene a long time ago either, but now it's kind of the new blood.
This is fresh blood, like completely. Young people that just want to run around and be gunning. That's what I'm thinking when I see these names.
Like that. Leader's better than that, at least.
Okay, we take leader out, but let's be honest, the rest just wants to go and kill people in game.
It is the meta.
Okay.
Going and killing people is, I mean, it's a meta for a reason. You could argue that going and killing people has always been the meta to a certain extent, it being a shooter. But yeah, we're certainly in a more fraggy meta for certain. And these are the players that Team Secret are opting to try and go forward with. At least in this qualifier, you may notice as well the Koi tag in Noodle Leader's names. Of course, Leader was on the Koi roster during Stage 1. But, you know, this is a time of flux that we are in right now in terms of rosters. And, you know, the names Heroic.Cream and Cream.Heroic are probably exemplifying that for you right now as well. Uport on this top floor is going to try and hold onto Cash as the Azami, a very strong position to be in, as well as Savage. We've got those FNAP mines stationed, not just one on the cash door, but also one on the drop by maintenance, so they will know if anyone goes for that long swing. But A flash straight through the middle enables Blaz to walk on in and take down that Fenrir with no problems whatsoever. All up to Upor now. Backs away through this rotate. The Jiggle Peak coming through takes a hefty chunk of Blaz's health with that shot, but not enough to be lethal. And now knows that there's one playing on the door. Finds Cream, and he gets the double swing coming out. Grubby in support. The flash, though, is going to force the engagement. Grubby does take out Blaz, but the Thermite in as Uno. No, you're supposed to win that, Uno. Upor takes the victory in that gunfight. Heroic.Cream left flailing as he finds Upor. I feel like that was a bit of a
what
miss.
are you doing?
He was lost in the sauce there. Leader now 1 versus 2, as he maybe thought it was a little bit more danger there, Upor, than he was. But we've definitely seen 1 versus 2s on this middle floor, on this throne room, go the way of the defenders.
But I have to already say it. I love the aggression that Team Secret is bringing. Just them straight up facing top dragon. Like, you don't expect that. And it worked out. I love it already. But now it's a bit of quiet time. Gonna drone. I mean, Heroic has more than enough time at this point. And they do have the hard reach gadget on the Ying. They do have a really good operator with Flores to clear all that utility. But Leader is having an eye on that. And he's also having an eye on Heroic.Cream. And now it's only Joom left. I mean, I've played against Joom. Like, I haven't played against him, but White Tigers back then in GSA, we played against Joom.
You know,
if one guy can clutch this right now, like, it's Joom.
You cursed
But
him.
never mind. You know, Leader can do the same. You know, that's what I wanted to say, obviously.
You forgot that Leader is the clutch king.
Yeah.
All right.
Joom, you know, Joom can shoot really good, but Leader is just... he has the coolness.
Yeah, there's a reason that Leader's found his way to tier 1, and
yes,
he is so calm and collected in situation. 1 versus 2, like we said, goes his way. I did say earlier that I was going to sort of call out people in the chat and say thank you for the follows. We've had so many people following. I just want to give a little shout out to Mr. Officer there, who's just followed, so thank you very much. And Dunster, I think, was a recent follower as well before that. Thank you so much. We've also got a little bit of inside information from Mr. Officer. In case anyone's unaware, Mr. Officer, Murat, beloved by the community, is the coach of Heroic. So he is here just cluing us in. Cream is Skiddy, and Heroic is Kayak. So there we go. Mystery solved.
Hey. I'm gonna note that down, and I'm still not gonna call them that way because I'm just concentrated on the names that I see.
Yeah, that's the thing, is when you do this to casters, we're just going to say what we see. We're
that simple.
We're trying to make this easy to watch. If we start saying things that's not on screen, then it becomes even more confusing.
Yes.
Yeah, why did they do this? Can we just, like, I want to get them both in a room and tell them, yeah,
why did you do that?
It might be the off season, but it's so annoying. All right.
As a caster, it's not nice.
No, it's very long. Let's log back in here. We've got 10 seconds only elapsed so far in the action phase, and once again, we got this top floor hold because, well, they have to hold the top floor. It's theme park. You got to hold the top floor in some respect, but not a throne room defense anymore. Secret managed to win that one just about through Leader's heroics. And now they are trying to defend initiation office, much closer to that cash push. And as such, the fights are thick and fast. Secret coming out on top in those opening engagements as Joom sweeps in to clean up Savage, who found one at the start. And now 3 versus 4 in favour of Team Secret with that one-man advantage. Taking out the cams, gaining this ground. And like we said, they're so close to sight right now. It's a little bit of a gamble from Team Secret, if you ask me.
Very much, but once again, that aggression on top dragon. You don't see that often, and Secret just pulled it off twice, and it worked twice. Look, Heroic just lost Osa, and I swear to God, obviously, you know, their attacking way was to play around that Osa, to, you know, have a shield in front of you, you walk inside, and you just clear a lot of space simply just by walking in, and you don't have that opportunity anymore. And if we're just looking at it, Yana has 2 nades, and that's about it from the utility. Of course, you have Ash, you have Ace, but that's more or less it. You just have to walk in, but that's a choosy shot, and Joom is just doing Joom things. But, you know, Secret is fighting back because they have the upper hand, but holy
You're very close.
I didn't say it. You know, I didn't say it.
You can say what the fuck you want. It's a community cast, right?
Oh wow! Okay, we're going there. Holy shit!
Yes, Upor being smoked out here as they know his position, but the nade will not connect. 2 versus 2 still, and this crossfire between the two SAS operators will have to do the business for Team Secret. A split push coming out though from Heroic, and they're relying on this pick working out through maintenance. Who is that? It's Doom on the other end of it. You wouldn't want anyone else for Heroic. Cream there holding the cross again, just trying to pinch out player by player. But now he's engaging with the one on his side, and Upor will win that out. Tries to get the reinforcements, but Doom is there. Locks it out. The quad. Can he make it the ace to seal a first round for Heroic here in this theme park? Leader holding fast once again in the clutch or kick scenario with a shotgun in hand. But Doom picks it perfectly, and it is an ace for the German in the central combine. 1-1 now we stand at. This is going to be one hell of a game.
What can I say? Doom. I said it. He's a good player. Respect his name. But I have to add to that I don't want to say it's poorly played by Team Secret. Like, especially not in the one we won. Like, each of those two know where they are, and it's just coming down to who has the most luck in this gunfight. But, you know, being picked apart solely by Doom, who just can walk up Dragon Stairs and can walk all the way through and, you know, pick 2 people simply from standing on a desk in office. Just shouldn't happen.
It's a nasty
That's the truth.
And this is what I was saying. I alluded to it before all the action kicked off, was that Initiation Office as a secondary site feels like a little bit of a gamble, right? You're very much used to seeing Bunk Daycare as that secondary site because all of these defenses center around holding onto cash, holding onto that top dragon entry for as long as possible. And Bunk Daycare just gives you that extra buffer room. It gives you more places to fall back to. You fall back to Bunk Daycare on an initiation site, but you've lost the site. You know, you can't fight from that position unless you've set up some really good long angles. Maybe you have the mirror in play or something. But of course, that has been banned out by Team Secret, so that's not part of their game plan. Instead, they're looking to play much more close to the edge, much more aggressive. And we're not even seeing Bunk Daycare as a third choice site. We are instead heading to Drug Lab. And this is a site I love to see because it just forces either extreme. You either, as an attacker, have to fully clear the entire map as quickly as possible, which is almost impossible on Theme Park, but some teams do try it, or you hit the site hard and fast. And it's really just one or the other. There's no in-between choice in a lot of senses. Otherwise, you leave yourself in a situation where you have too many unchecked areas and you just leave yourselves open to flanks. But Heroic looks like they're trying to make their mind up about how they go about this. Still assessing the situation well into the action phase, which means that if they wanted to go for this hard and fast approach, they might find the clock being their biggest enemy come the late round.
I just realized that Doom is on Blitz. Why?
There he goes. It's a quick clear, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they're doing exactly the thing that he said. I mean, I don't think that Yin Candela was intended to be done that way. But anyway, they're working it. They're doing it really fast. And they're not, you know, taking the time to clear out the top floor. No, they're just going in, they're setting up, and then they're just, like, counting down 1, 2, 3, and then just going in, and Doom is just gonna have some fun with that blitz. I'm gonna tell you, this holy smokes.
That is a...
And it's leader. Anything can happen. Calm down.
5. Come on, you can try it. No, another win for Heroic, and a flawless one at that. So, well, we were questioning the approach there, but it was a very strange one. They kind of went for that top floor clear, but it was only Blitz that went from the maintenance side. Everyone else funneled into Arcade side and found their picks. We didn't get to see many of them, but Secret wanted to fight back. They didn't want to give that ground up easily, and I don't know. That kind of clear is surprising to me because it feels like you're playing 2 games at once, and there was very much a disconnect between the two of them. Doom just kind of did his own thing, and he got a kill for it. But the rest of the Heroic outfit were the ones that really won that round with the push in top Arcade. So Secret just... well, this is the thing. We didn't really get to see enough of it to make a full assessment of the round.
No.
But they found themselves 2 attacking rounds on Theme Park, and that's a very good position to be in for Heroic.
Absolutely. Can only agree, and it's just... You know, I just want to compare that to the game that we've just seen versus M&M. Obviously, Border is a very different map, but you know, if you would have said that this is the same team, like Heroic plays very differently. Like they're playing with confidence, they're playing with a plan compared to Border. It feels like they're just going in trying to do stuff. And right now it really seems like okay, they have things planned out, they have step A, B, C, and they're doing it, and it works out. I love this. And really theme park 2 attacks, just all you need. And I see them getting at least one more attack actually.
Yeah, they've played well enough to warrant it. That flawless round it says it all. So we head back down to the basement. I always call it the basement. Not enough maps have a basement. Bottom floor of theme park. It's not under the ground. Head back to the bottom floor of theme park, and again we have this hard dragon hold for the defenders. They need to hold on to this quite well. Doom once again on that Yana, looking to eventually lurk his way up these dragon stairs. Savage taking out a drone there. Needs to hold his position. They have a few options here, Heroic, and it looks as though actually they're going to try and hold that dragon player at bay and just try and get this wall open early inside of maintenance. We do hear the EMP go out, and that hole is active now and available as the attackers have a route in. A rotate, though, opened up by Savage. Beautifully worked. Takes out Doom. Of all the players you want to find on the end of your scope, that is the one. Very nasty. Long shot from the MPX 1.5. That's what you take Warden for. But they're not done yet. They're still holding on to this top floor. Really, Heroic, they went in quick. They got that wall open, but now they have to return to step 1. They've kind of done this in the wrong order, and it's cost them Doom.
And they've kind of helped the defenders because they now have an extra rotation.
Yeah. Down goes Blaz. Down he goes, drops down the hatch and immediately eaten up by Noodle. Savage melts through Heroic.Cream, and another 2 from Upor on this cash hold. Let's have a close look at these ones. 1 and 2. Beautiful stuff. Completely undetected. Some quick rounds coming out from both sides, and this is back and forth. 1-1, 2-2. Anyone's game.
And 2 flawless in a row.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on, guys? I mean, I like it. I'm not complaining. But really love the way that Savage played that out. It was beautiful. Really got the red on. Okay, nothing's happening upstairs. I hear stuff happening downstairs. And he's just chasing. Poor Doom, literally being shot in the back. Guy just wanted to leave. And he's being shot in the back.
Just let me out. I've done my job. I helped hold the dragon stairs so you could get this stupid early breach done. Let me outside. Let me get back into the building in a direction I want to take a fight in. And he gets taken out. He's like, guys, why did we open the wall within the first minute and then do nothing with it? Like, there's a lot of question marks over that round for Heroic, but they'll. Well, they won't get another opportunity to attack Throne Room. Is the problem. So that's it.
That's true. That's true.
Bunk daycare though.
First time. It's crazy that we're seeing bunk daycare just in round 5.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I think they're probably just thinking, we had that attempt of initiation office, and it would have helped if it was bunk instead. But of course, this does open up the opportunity for slightly different pushes, right? So Heroic can opt for a more direct take from this western side of the map. They've got the Glads, they've got the Ying. Perhaps that's what they want to go for. They've spawned all over this side as well, so we finally get to see some action on the western side. Savage taking an early fight, takes a big chunk out of Blaz. I feel like I've said that 4 or 5 times today across both Heroic games. Blaz just has some kind of ward on him. He survives every gunfight that he gets in very, very early. It's weird.
And now you
cursed
lucky.
Him. Yeah, maybe I have. But he survived that one. He survived that one. I'll give him 20 seconds then.
Okay. I'm gonna watch it.
218. wait for 158.
Okay, well I'm gonna wait for that. It's on you.
I feel like his position, everything that's going on, I feel like it's very unlikely. But
yes,
you never know. Anything can happen in Siege. Maybe he'll get a vert opened up on him out of nowhere. FNAT mine on this roof hatch is a very nice little development. That is something that you might have had a proxy mine there in the past, but now you've got something even more reliable, and not only are you jumping into a crossfire, but you're jumping into a crossfire that you can't fight back from. Down goes Creep. So it wasn't Blaz the first to die, and it was only about 10 seconds after I tried to predict it. I'll take it.
Too far off. And I have to add that right now it feels like Heroic is really far apart, and you can see them being picked apart. Like literally, Noodle, Grubby, what are you doing? No, more like Heroic, what are you doing? Because Secret's just winning their gunfights because Heroic is so far apart. Like, everyone, like, we see it perfectly. If Void, our lovely observer, by the way, doing God's work for
Excellent
us,
job so far.
just switching around, and we see them being literally miles apart on the other side of the map. And, you know, Joom's doing Joom things again, but he can't do it all. He nearly would have had to ace it once again.
Oh, beautiful
and now
drop.
It's only down to Uno. That's perfectly executed, but there's 2 more people, and it's Groovy and it's Noodle, the Clutch King. So it's not going to be easy. Let's face it.
Pair of young gunners, bit of fresh blood in the sea. Comparatively, we've known them for a very long time against Uno, who has been around for donkey's years, like we've said. And droning out the side.
I bet he dreams about Siege.
He probably does. Do you not? I'd
No,
wager a lot. I'd
it's
wager
not.
a lot of people. I think a lot of people watching this probably dream about Siege, but it's going to be, you know, in this 1 versus 2. To try and clutch out. 25 seconds, sending some pop shots, expecting these peaks. Secret are playing with him. They're toying with him. They know this time is on their side. They have Case as well. He has to force his way through, try and find the picks, but Secret... Well, I was going to say they're not giving him anything. Noodle gives them something to think about. And that's a preparation phase. A whole other round to have to try and get through before they can claw their way back. It's 3-2 now. Secret edge ahead. And like you said, Heroic, very split up during that round. Secret, though, always in a position to refrag. And that was the difference.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. That's just it. I'm just gonna agree.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes nothing more to add.
Just right.
It's true. That's why you're a good caster, you know.
Thanks.
Okay, that's too much.
Yeah. Don't
we're gonna see Inni in office again, and you've talked about it lengthily that this is not really the best side. Let's face it. But considering that they cannot go to Armory, they obviously cannot go to Bunk because they just won it. They only can go to Drugs or Office, and, you know, both didn't really play out that well, if I might say. But I do think it makes sense that they go Initiation Office, just because Drug Labs, that round was just complete. Like, that round had Heroic in caps lock all over it. So, you know, makes sense. You go to Ini Office and just try to do the same thing and just try to work it out, basically, because truth is, Team Secret, they should get that 4th round in because it's theme park. It really favors them because they have these 2 rounds up ahead then. But I'm gonna stick with it at this point. I think Heroic can do anything, especially with Joom. Like, he's having a game. The rest of Heroic, obviously they're doing their job, but it's Joom right now.
Yeah, 9-3. 9-3 says it all, right? He's the only one going positive. He's the only one really making a difference. That ace, of course, has a lot to do with it, right? If you ignore that ace, he's 4-3. So maybe that overstates how big an impact he has had, but you think about it this way instead. He single-handedly won a round, so he's doing half the work for Heroic because they only have 2 rounds. So there's lots of ways, you know, numbers, statistics. It's those one of those things that you just manipulate to your own liking, right? Anyone can make anything sound true with the use of clever statistics. But let's stop the deep dive here. We're back into an initiation defense, and surprisingly, for the first minute of the round, not much has happened. Slow but steady control gained here by Heroic. Oh! Tasty shot by Kareem. Catches Noodle on the cross there. And finally, we have an entry kill. It goes the way of the attackers here. Secret with their backs against the wall. And once again, like we said, on this initiation defense, they can't fall back very far. They have to hold the line. They have to hold a high line. Just like Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. That's what I'm thinking here. The initiation defense is like the Gegenpress.
Oh my god.
It's true.
Oh, it's true. It is.
I'm trying to be relatable here.
What the heck is he talking about, man? What the heck is he? Jurgen Klopp, really good trainer, by the way.
Oh, we love him. What a man.
Gotta miss the old Dortmund times.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
I'm glad we stole him from you.
Yeah, god damn it.
We've had some good times.
No, I'm actually...
Well, Uno. Uno's having good times with the AK-12.
Yeah.
And Doom is having even better times on the Nook. 12 kills to his name now, I believe. After that one's for certain. He's just walked in up main stairs and found everyone. Is that main stairs? Yellow stairs. Yellow stairs, not main.
Yellow stairs.
Yeah. But
I'm gonna come back to that. Doom. You can't allow him to be doing that, because that is literally the identity of Doom. He goes in somewhere. You have to be ready for that. And Team Secret has not been ready for that for at least 2 rounds. I might even say 3 rounds by now. And that's just, I don't know, within a total of 6 rounds, you should get into, you know, reading the playstyle of your opponent. And Secret kind of has not done that. They have just continued their playstyle, which is fair and square. It's, you know, many teams make that work. But right now, Doom is just completely destroying this playstyle. And, I mean, obviously they're going to attack, so they have to change things up anyway. And I'm going to be watching out for Doom if he's just going to continue like that, because I have seen him doing that often enough. We've just talked about Eminem with Solitov just sometimes, you know, slowing it down in the defense. I'm going to tell you, I don't think Doom is going to do that right now. He's just going to continue to walk around everywhere.
Doom has literally just been doing this for years. Like, he has been
and it's working.
Putting teams on his back. And winning, and it doesn't seem like he ever finds a team where he's not the best one on it. Like, you could probably slot Doom into any team in the world, and he would be comfortable at the very least. There's certainly better players in the world than him, but I think that he's such a talent. Look at this, 12-3, and Secret are struggling, and that is attacking Theme Park. He's basically been the reason that they've gotten any of those 3 rounds. So yeah, I can't praise him enough. Cannot praise him enough. But we'll have to stop, because there is a game still. And we've got that switch. Heroic now on the defense. You have to back Heroic now after that attacking half to seal this one out. 3-3 is a great attacking split to have. The Mozzie Pests are going to hold Grubby's drone at bay, but a bullet will make it a bit more of a permanent affair, as now he's down to, well, none. This does have, of course, those Iana replicators to send out for any further intel gathering, but for the rest of it, he'll have to rely on his team. They seem to be swarming all around the map, and it's Cream who will find the first, as that is Grubby on that cache side down, and now the Brava looking to try and head on over there to make sure that there is something going on that side of the map. Doom and Noodle each get a pick of their own, Noodle being traded out there by the Germans. So now 4 versus 2, as the Mozzie once again holds firm. That was the Brava that went over there. This Mozzie is doing work on that side. Cream with a triple on the round. Single-handedly stops them in their tracks. He says, no, this entire side of the map is mine.
I mean, he has a 1.5.
That's Skiddy, by the way.
Headlines.
Skiddy, just for reference.
You know, just makes sense. You know, you just... That's the thing. They play bunk and they hold all the other side of the map. That's just how you do it. And they did it the way that you expected, or more, you know, say like Secret should have played it this way. You know, play long angles and all that. And they just didn't do it. Heroic's doing it. 1.5 on the gun, and you just all the way through. Just shoot around and people fall off.
We were talking about this map before and saying how it's a difficult one to keep track of all of the action on, because we saw it just there. There were 2 key engagements going on both sides of the fight of the map at the same time, almost constantly, and it was Skiddy that did the hardest work, right, on this side, on the cache side that we're kind of floating around right now. Just that triple kill, it absolutely determined the round. And every single time Team Secret sent another body over there, we sent Leader and we sent another one right at the end to try and deal with him. He was shutting them out. So again, another stellar individual performance determines a round in this game. It feels very much like this isn't even feeling like a team game at this point. This is feeling like just who is going to show up in this 3-minute window? Who is going to really take the spotlight? It's been Doom for a lot of it, and now Skiddy is stepping into the fray, which I like to see. I like to see more than just a one-man show.
We always like to see this. I just want to come back to Secret. Truth is, I think they just have to ramp up the speed. It's taking them too long, and it's, you know, we've seen at least one round of Heroic where everyone was just like, you know, dotted throughout the map. That's basically what Secret feels right now. And they just have to work more aggressive and definitely more as a team, because we see a lot of individual gunfights. A lot of people are working on individual, you know, pressure points and all this, and no one's just really gonna make it work. So I really want Secret to work more together. They can do it because they have the gun skill, you know, kind of backing them up. But they have to make it work as a team, and I love to see that they at least 2 people out Cafe, because that's definitely an important point to clear. And they're struggling right now.
Yeah, it's a very important engagement. This.
That's cheeky, June.
It's worth saying as well, just to put an asterisk over my last point about Skiddy playing incredibly well, it's not just June. June did also get 2 kills in that round, so he's up on 14 and 3 at this point. You know, nothing's going to stop him from at least getting on the board. As I say that, Grubby will make me eat my words and forces June to eat a load of bullets as well. Nade goes out through the doorway to try and force back Cream. This is, of course, Skiddy. He will try and retake this position. Wants to hold on to Cafe for as long as possible. With only a minute 15 left, he doesn't necessarily need to trade his life for this. But, of course, it is a bunk defense, so at least holding the cross would be good enough for the time being. A little bit of relaxing time is going to ensue here, as now Uno finally quells that silence with a nice shotgun to Leader's chest, and up comes Upor into the waiting arms of Cream, who takes him down. Noodle, though, finds that kill, and Savage refrags onto the player inside, but no, they have no idea the player is in Vault, and down he goes. A 1 versus 1 now, and Blaz takes him out. That's now a 1 versus 1, excuse me. There was a down during that caught me unawares. Now, 1 versus 1. Noodle is inside of sight, does not have Diffuser, is outside still, can go and recollect it. As Blaz has wormed his way round, there's a big kind of ring around the rosies going on around the entire map at this point. You can rotate back into the B site, but Noodle has collected the Diffuser. Only 15 seconds though. He has a rotate to work with, could maybe plant close inside this doorway. Decides to opt for a little bit closer to that soft wall. This is risky. Blaz can definitely hear it. Noodle comes off it, tries to take the fight. Blaz finds that hard cover, ducking behind the table, but Noodle is good enough to give Heroic a bit of a headache in that round. A 4 versus 4, rather a 4-4 scoreline, and this back and forth game continues to deliver. Secret not out of it.
They're really not taking anything here. They're just... You know, I talked a bit bad about Secret, and now they're just going into Cafe as a team, and ta-da, it works out. You could argue about leaving the Diffuser outside of Cafe is kind of a misplay, because what would it hurt to take it with you? But it worked out in the end, and Noodle just clutching that, just got a heads up to that decision-making to not stick the plan and just push. You know, at some point you just gotta be, okay, I'm gonna be more confident. Maybe he even checked that it's Blaz, who's not really on the kill side in this game. You know, sometimes you just gotta force it. And Noodle just completely did the right thing, because I think if he sticked, Blaz would have won that.
Yeah, there's definitely a case to be made, because that was a tense 1v1. You could argue that he had the opportunity to plant a little bit deeper within the site, though. Give himself a bit more cover. Give himself more angles to force the defender of... Who was it? Blaz. To take. Because he was essentially pushing him blind there, right? I don't believe there was a ton of intel, right? There was no yellow ping coming out within the site. None of those bulletproof cameras, nothing was reading into the position of the attacker. I would have liked to see him duck in just inside the rotate, get it down behind the train. That would have been a very neat play, in my opinion. But, of course, he doesn't have the full knowledge, necessarily. And these are players that are far better than me. So, I can question them, but I will always reserve judgment. So... 5 versus 5, as it should be at the first 30 seconds of Theme Park. You'd expect it to be. But the Amaru on the side of Secret, being brought by Savage, does indicate that maybe we'll get a quick early engagement at some point. This is a drug lag defense, and we have the Frost and Castle in tandem to protect the site itself, while everything else is sort of stationed around on that top floor, looking to hold on to as much ground as possible. Up goes Savage. Cream grabs the first kill onto Noodle. That is a Brava taken out. Outside of this arcade window, Grubby up here to try and grab the refrag. Fighting through the window, does get the kill, and Savage finds his entry onto Doom as well. Excellent swing back coming out from Heroic. After losing that first kill, they're now a man up and can try and work around the site. Looks like the Castle pushing back up the top floor. May want to try and even the man count a little bit as Blaz getting close to an engagement here as well. That is Savage on the other end of things, and that LMG can do some real damage, but Blaz has control over that MP7 and delivers the damage in the other way. Grubby goes down. This is non-stop stuff, Drake. Uport pushing on in, and he almost finds the kill, but Blaz once again is there to deliver the heroics for Heroic. Grubby is down, but not out yet. Effectively a 1 versus 3, unless the Yana can be rezzed here. Leader has a lot of time to work with, but all these Heroic defenders have just head for the hills.
I love this. This is so aggressive.
He's chasing
so
shadows.
Straightforward. Yes, and it's just, you know, just Blaz retaking basically the whole of top floor just by simply rotating around. And you see, Leader has no clue where Blaz is. Meanwhile, Blaz is just literally, he's gone. He's gone forever by now because he dropped. And Leader's just gonna realize that, gonna try to get Groovy because he's gonna need that second man, or is he?
Okay.
Leader, what are you doing? You could have rested your men.
Yeah, he just didn't think he wanted to. I guess he wants
to
so
challenge,
big.
I guess.
He's so big on the 1 versus 3s that he's let his ego get a bit of hold of him there. But Blaz,
yeah, about that.
Blaz
Did
closes
he do
it out.
4K?
That I believe was a 4K from Blaz, if not a 3K.
It was either 3 or 4K. We're gonna see because he had
stuff.
3 kills before this round.
And you know, Blaz is the pride of America. This is a good Texan boy who has really grown into a superstar and one of the top entry fraggers after his time on Canadian Team Parabellum. All hopes for NA Rainbow Six Siege rest upon his capable shoulders. God bless America.
Soldiers' shoulders.
Thank you very much, Rick and Morty, the resident copy pasta merchant of the R6 scene. Good to see you in here. So yeah, that's a pinned comment for the next 20 minutes. You've earned it. Here we go.
Okay,
5-4.
Yeah, he got a 3K. He got a 3K.
Ah, 3K. Very nice. Blimey.
But he just played that so well. It just... Secret just got in so aggressive, and Heroic just answered with aggression and confusion, essentially. Because, you know, Blaz just existing all over the top floor just doesn't make it easier to keep track of him. If you don't have Jackal, for example.
It felt very deathmatchy there, and I'm gonna justify that with one comment. That was a drug lab defense, apparently. Yes. You know, there was nothing happening around there. It was all on the top floor, pretty much. That was all that happened, and eventually they came down to the throne room. Like, that's where the final engagement took place, was the throne room. Now we're defending throne room. So if the end of that round might have thrown you off, that's the reason.
Understandably.
Right? So I was just about to say 5 versus 5. This is a bad habit I'm getting into. I have to stop it. First 15 seconds of the round, of course it's a 5 versus 5. But Blaz, maybe he wants to put an end to that trend as he's going for the spawn peak. Out the same window that we saw the Amaru hop into last round. It's a different operator, or well, same operator,
my god,
but
that was so
player.
close.
Noodle is walking around, but it's Uport who's snuck his way in below, hugging tightly to the wall to avoid any sort of tomfoolery. And he was right to do so, because of course we saw how hungry Blaz was.
Oh, it's Blaz, not hungry. Oh, okay.
Oh, shush.
Oh, God.
If you want to watch the wild game, go watch the wild game. Big drop.
No, it's fine.
Here comes Savage, and he melts through Doom, holding on to those yellow stairs. He's not done yet. Wants to hunt down Blaz, or anyone on this top floor. He's not too fussy. He'll take anyone he can get. He will find Blaz in a moment. There we go. Sniffs him out with the drone. Maybe trying to bait the false drone. Bait the mist drone there. He knew. Down goes Blaz, but in the good sense. He's dropped back to sight. So now Team Secret have full control on top of and around the site. Not in yet, as this is transformed into what be a full turtle setup for Heroic. 4 on site to try and just fight Secret off from all angles, it would seem, as the vert is being done. You've got the hard breach charges on Noodle, the Selmas on Upor. He has already spent those, so we'll have to see where these holes are. But the number of safe spots that Secret, or Heroic rather, have to play in is slowly dwindling as we approach the final minute mark. And one player lurks inside a bathroom, but he is discovered. Yellow pin comes out, and that is a 5 versus 3 for this final execute.
Beautiful. That was beautifully coordinated. Just pushed him out through the vertical plays. You just don't want to stick around if, you know, the floor above you is being open. And then it's just the intel with the cam, 2 players shooting at him, just perfect. And, you know, now it's literally just 3 people on site, and they just have to wait it out, try to win their gunfight. But that's gonna be a challenge, as Savage gets a kill with the nade. And, you know, now it's not that much left. Cream, aka Skitty, is also down and out. And now it's only Blast.
1 versus 5, does find one, can't find the second at range, and that is Grubby whipping out the pistol to finish it off. Blast goes down in a heap. Very clean round from Team Secret. Step 1 done excellently, step 2 even better. Almost flawless.
Yeah, I was about to say that was like possibly one of those rounds where you could argue that's a clean armory attack round. You know, just ticking off the boxes one by one, and eventually you'll end up on side and maybe even have the upper hand when it comes down to operators still being alive, and they just exactly did that. It was beautifully played, and it really seems like these 2 teams don't want to win.
Wait, what?
They're just trading rounds. They're like, hey, you take one. No, we take one now. And it's just...
They're here for the entertainment.
Weird.
They're here for the entertainment. They're prioritizing us. Which is very kind of them, but maybe they shouldn't.
That's how I should see it, okay.
Because both teams right now are 2 rounds away, effectively, from going home. Right? This is the lower bracket, and if they trip at this point, then that is it. So, someone has to go through. Someone has to go through and meet up with the teams that are playing on the other side of the bracket, which, if I'm not mistaken, I would be surprised if we don't already have that matchup. And I'm just having a quick look right now. It does appear that BDS have made it through against TT9, but of course, that's not the team that's not the team that will be awaiting them, though, because they're going to be awaiting the loser of the one of the upper bracket games, right? So Heroic and Team Secret will be up against one of those. So lots and lots to keep track of, lots of things going on. But TT9 are the first team out of the competition, in case you were wondering. And, well, Heroic or Team Secret are going to be the second.
Let's get back into this game then. And once again, we do see Heroic kind of being posted up all around the map, which makes sense because they've been playing like this and they go for armory again. We kind of see this way of M&M last game. You play one side, you lose it, and you kind of learn from it. And Secret feels like they want to change things up, but Blast is just completely ready. Cash is his home. He wants to hold this as long as possible.
It's a good place
to
live.
True.
You know,
true.
You won't go poor. You might go hungry if you don't have anywhere to buy food. You know, there's no point hoarding money and not being able to do anything with it if you're trapped in a room, as Blaz is kind of right now, coming under quite a lot of fire. Not literally, but the flash grenade at least sent his way. No one on the other end of it, though. Perhaps just baiting out a little bit of aggression, but not to come his way. He doesn't want to drop the hatch either. Has not got a way of doing so either. Does not have impacts in hand, so instead those barbed wire is out, and this foot height hole at range is going to give him a free kill as Noodle just hops on in. Good patience coming out from the Azami. Grubby, though, on the other end of things, tries to win his entry and cannot do it either. Heroic are on top here, but Upor takes out Blaz. That is the Azami inside the cache. Finally dealt with. The 4 versus 3 defenders still in control of this round. Savage is looking for something here, just lurking around the site door, maybe waiting for a rotate back in, but the Goyo is taking his time. Heroic, that is not Skitty, that is Kayak on the other side of things. He's just waiting. This is tense. We'll come back to it. Upor on the top floor, trying to clear out anything that's left, but it looks as though everyone has kind of scarpered. Head down to the bottom floor instead. Savage's patience is rewarded, but immediately traded back by Uno inside of the site. The Bandit will claim that refrag. A 2 versus 3 now. Still Secret in a very tough position here. Upor has taken a lot of damage as well, trying to work this vertical angle, and that is not a good position to be in when you're working the vertical. Nade will be sent down, but it looks like it was caught by an active magnet, as the Ormai sitting down there will be safe for the time being. Leader looking to find an opening, but these walls are probably still intact. Someone comes out of bathroom. Doom, you okay? He was hanging out in there for quite a while, and this wall is unprotected, so he could open it up if he decides he has the time. Leader trying to set that exothermic charge. He's only got 12 seconds left. It will breach with only a few seconds left on the timer. He's just fishing for kills. Out goes the impact, but it was not successful, and the breach will be clean. Uno clears out Leader, though, and Upor has to walk into a horrible crossfire. No chance in hell. And it is Heroic who finally push themselves onto match point in this absolutely thrilling back and forth game. We have not had a team in control at any point. Never more than a round ahead. But Heroic, 1 round away from sealing their destiny in the next round of this lower bracket.
And they're choosing to opt for Bang Daycare, which we have to say was kind of a struggle. Let's face it. It wasn't played bad, but, you know, it was a 1v1 with Noodle versus Blaz, eventually winning it out. It wasn't badly played or poorly played in any sense, but it just didn't really work. I had the feeling that, you know, they felt more comfortable in Office, apparently, which doesn't really make sense, but it feels like they're more comfortable on those long-range fights. But hey, anyway, they're going back to Bang. They're going to try to beat it anyway. And, you know, I'm going to come back to it, because Joom has been quiet, and I've been kind of eating my own words, saying that he's going to do the same thing on defense as he's done on attack, and apparently he didn't. But, you know, maybe that's just the showing that Secret kind of just goes in and does not let Joom do Joom things.
Yeah, well,
which kind of makes it work.
It's just a different game, isn't it? On defense,
yeah.
You're not expected to do the same things. You're expected to do the same roles. It's much more about holding these crossfires and making sure that nobody can get past you. Joom has just had a quieter defensive half, and that's not a bad thing. It just means that there's been room for other players to step on up. We've seen Blaz pick up the pieces. We've seen Cream pick up the pieces as well. Uno now going positive. It's only actually Skiddy, or rather Kayak, that's negative at the moment. And again, not everyone needs to be performing at the best. Not everyone needs to be fragging out to win a game of Siege. On the other side of things, Team Secret, it's very even across the board as well. This has been, like I said, there have been individual rounds where it's felt like just the spotlight has been on one player. But you look at the stats at this late point in the game, and everyone is chipping in where they need to. Really, it's only those backline supports that haven't got the frags. And like I said, that is forgivable. What is going on here? Heroic Dot Cream walks on into a gunfight. I think he had no clue he was getting into. As Savage has hopped on in and finds the pistol kill as the Capital. Also, definitely not expecting the swing there.
This is T1, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
just saying, you know. I mean, hey, happens to everyone.
Oh, the window.
Blaz is getting wallbanged.
No, that was the rappel. That was the rappel, I believe. He was protected from the wallbang by that hard wall, but Leader getting in on the action as well, taking down Uno, and now Secret in a commanding position as they find Joom at range as well. All up to Cream. Only half the round is gone. It's a 1 versus 4. He stands no chance as Upor steps up this round with an impressive 2k towards the end. And we're going all the way to overtime. It's 6-6. How has this happened?
Okay, let me say something. Secret, we've talked about this before the game. Secret, the last 2 maps that we can found have won 8-6 both times.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a sign. Maybe
it was against this. Yeah, against
trading.
Heroic as well, right?
Yes.
That weird seeding match that happened during stage 1. They played each other. It was 8-6, 8-6 to Secret, I believe, right? So
yeah.
We could have history repeat itself here. We could have another 8-6, and Secret will hope it's a very good trend that they've set in winning 8-6s against Heroic, and that they will continue here. But you know, you never want to go to overtime. You always want to win it out in regulation. But
obviously,
they're the ones that have pushed it here. They're the ones that have forced it here with a very, very nice attack, and they will have. We're looking at 3-3 splits here. There is no advantage. You cannot call this at all. Usually you go into an overtime, you think, someone's on the advantageous side. You know, there's a very defender-sided theme, a very attacker-sided chalet, whatever. 3-3 splits. I'm not a betting man, and I'm glad I'm not, because this is anyone's game. Still is. It has been all the way through.
I'm coming back to Joom over and over again, but the only thing I can think of right now that could be a positive thing for Team Secret is that they will be able to shut down Joom on those defenses pretty damn well. It's once again those rounds where he just couldn't have much of an impact at all. And that might be that one very small game changer that they're like, okay, you know, starting attacking OT might not be the best thing, but then again, we're OT. We've learned this many, many times that OT is somehow a different game in itself again.
Yeah, nothing...
It always is.
Nothing that we've seen before matters. And so far, we're actually seeing a somewhat more direct take towards Drug, which again is something that we had not seen yet. We've got the Azami holding inside of break room right now, inside the kitchen, and just ducks on out. Feels it's a little bit too hot with that smoke going out. That is going to protect the Selma charge that is causing some issues here, but he will seal it back up with a barricade. Of course, that Selma charge is good at, you know, you create a massive line of sight all the way down the middle of the map, so it gives you a lot of control. Cream finds that opening kill, though, onto Grubby. That's Yana gone. Big loss here. When you think about all the power positions that are going to be played towards the end of this round inside the site, you really want those nades to dispel with those. Cream spots someone on drone. Maybe thinks he's got a bit of an opportunity here, but no, decides he's just going to be patient, wait for his opportunity. Oh, he spots the drone and where it is. Now he knows that he can maybe get aggressive. Go outside, finds one, and the second. The play is made by Skiddy. What a move. Excellent use of the Solace gadgetry, and Doom cleans up the rest with the hold from Break. An excellent round and defense from Heroic puts them ahead in overtime.
I feel like I cursed Secret by saying that Doom didn't have, you know, the best time on defense.
Yeah.
And here we are.
What a play.
I'm sorry, Team Secret, but hey, we can go all the way overtime. Why not? Because this has been a game between these two teams, literally trading round after round, and Team Secret has been running after, you know, that score for quite some time.
Yeah.
Since that 3-3, or more say 4-3. That's the only time that I've actually been in the position to have the upper hand. So they're running it back once again, but they've consistently running it back.
Yeah, they're very good at being behind and coming back, it seems, in this match.
Yeah.
So, well, we're not going to see an 8-6 Team Secret. That is for certain. So
that is true.
That storyline is now dead in the water. That trend has been bucked.
Yeah.
I want to give a very brief shout out while this prep phase goes on to Voigt, who is our observer for today and has been for the first game as well by pure coincidence. We just happened to want to follow the games that they were covering. Has done an excellent job. Honestly, you know, just spotting moments like that Solace play, we don't get those without good observers, and I've been very impressed. I've been very, very happy with the quality that's been on show, not just with Voigt, but with all of the community casters and observers that have been hopefully broadcasting as much of this tier 1 action today as possible. So big shout out to observers. We love you all. Let's get back into this though. Throne room defense is where Secret are looking to turn their fortunes around, and we see, well, a very trap-oriented lineup, isn't it? We've got Legion, Azami, to an extent has, you know, can sort of model the map, spring traps to her own liking. Doesn't have those impacts in hand though, so maybe a little bit less flexibility. But you've also got, of course, the Frost and the Goyo, so a nice little bit of denial on the side of Team Secret. Looking to lock things out. Of course, they've got Savage playing on this top floor, getting aggressive on the Dragon Balk, but it is, of course, Doom. Who else to fire the opening frag for Heroic? And it's gone unpunished. Savage, though, does find Blaz on the other side of the map, so an even man count for this mid-round. And as I say that, Doom gets a second kill with an aid onto Leader.
What is he doing?
This is so fast. Where are you going? Uport and Grubby find 2 kills, but Savage somehow finds his footing and turns on Heroic. And Secret look like they've sealed ourselves for round 15. Uno lasts alive in 1 versus 3. Only a minute truly has elapsed in this round. He holds a diffuser and a dream, but that's just about it.
I'm out of words. I don't know what Secret is, you know, they need the edge, it feels like, and then they can perform. But what is going on, Secret? They're just completely running it through Heroic, and even Doom's 2 really good kills couldn't help. And it's once again, it's Uno. He has tons of experience, but you know, what can you do against this crossfire? Now there's fire in his way too, which is going to stay there for like 20 seconds, so no way he's going in there. You know, just holding at angle. Maybe someone will peek in, but Team Secret, they're just not going to peek it. That's the truth.
Exactly. There's no need.
So much utility. There's no way he's going through that.
At least that's the last of the Kiba barricades that he will have to deal with, as Upor has spent all of them. Patience rewarded there as Savage gets a little bit too eager. Yellow ping coming out onto the sound call of Someone by Pizza, but this is still a horrific crossfire, and a second load of fire gets tossed out, gets detonated there. The goo mine as well, pinged by the drone, does mean that now he can walk in unimpeded. It is just a crossfire. It's just a gun game. Spots the head of the Azami. Can't quite find it. Oh, he's just working this angle, but Upor holds his nerve. And Secret do see it through to round 15. We are going all the way in this lower bracket round that will see one team eliminated from the R6 Combine.
You just love it. You have to love it. And I'm just thinking about theme park, you know, at this point it's just either it is a very clear game like 7-0, 7-2, 7-1, something like that, or it's a close one. I've rarely ever seen a theme park that's just like, you know,
7-4, 7-3. Yeah, it doesn't happen.
It just never happens. It's not, I don't know, it's not a theme park thing.
No.
So we're gonna see all the action, and you know, it really comes down to the very last bit, and I can just think of many possible ways this could go. But at this point, Heroic's defenses, even though they also had a 3-3 split, obviously, it feels like they're more solid all the way. They're more rounded, it feels like. Secret has their moment when, you know, they go in as a team and they just aggressively push. But especially on Armory, that's super tough.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sit right that they're gonna make it happen now, because they could not make it happen multiple times. It's going to be super tough.
So you're backing Heroic? Is that the call?
Yeah.
You're making your prediction.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to hold you to that. I'm going to hold you to that. So Heroic.
Feel free.
Chips down from Drake. You heard it here. I am, again, like I said, not a betting man. This is just anyone's game. Truly is.
True.
Well, we're into the action phase now. And we have Secret stacking around. Just, let's get a good kind of lay of the land here. Who's going where? We have one person trying to tackle the drug hold. That is Savage, who's already taken a bit of a beating with that early spray of Heroic.Cream. Very nice hold. Just you know, a bit of a warning shot. That's what you want to see to prevent any sort of overconfidence. I think overtime match point, this is going to be a round that goes down to the final minute. There is barely going to be any engagements in the first minute. That is my call.
What's Michael to do with that?
Oh
God.
Shit.
Okay. Oh.
I'm wrong! Cream finds the opening frag, and it is within the first minute. Grubby going down. That is a Flores. Surely has not spent enough of his utility to warrant an early death, and hasn't found a kill either. Heroic looking pretty good here with that man advantage. Maybe your bet is right, Drake.
It just, all those barricades, I just thought about that in the prep phase. Just all these barricades, that's just, this has to be annoying. And Cream just, you know, sticks around. He's being drawn out, and he's eventually still gonna stick around, because guess what? Blast is there too. You know, they're getting their gunfights in, but it's just not enough at this point. Cream. And Cream, there you go. There you guess this pick. And, you know, Noodle is just, you know, he's alone in control. He's gonna get pushed. You see it. Mozzie is just feeling it. They're pushing it together. Good. Look at this. This is perfect. This is well done.
Cream has just come alive. He has come alive on the defense, right? Like, this has been a masterclass from Skiddy. So, 2 versus 4. And this Mozzie has just done absolute wonders. Heroic, like you predicted, seem to be in the ascendancy here. They have this breach, though. They do have an option to go direct to site. Someone right behind that wall, that half wall. All the Goyo has to do is pop up for a second, and he's got surely an easy kill with sights trained in his direction. There's the sound cue. Now they know. A horrible crossfire, but they're dealing with it. Upor! What a double! He's opened it wide up for the taking, as Team Secret are not done yet. They have full control on this side of the site. They can get on in, sneak down the diffuser. FNAP mine triggered. Horrible situation to be in. You never want to see that black haze around you, but he is in good cover. Leader has the cover as well from back. He has the diffuser in hand. He's now in a safe position to plant it down. 2 versus 2 still. Blaz and Doom need to get a move on. Looks like the flank is being made as there's still one in sight. But do they expect the flank? Blaz comes up huge with the kill onto Leader as he tries to set the diffuser down. Upor stuck in the 1 versus 2. Detonates to fire. A quad kill for him. He has to hit the ace. 7 seconds left. He doesn't really have time to set it. 4 seconds left. Has Blaz played this right or not? Oh, he's got the chance to rover around. He's in the cover. This is it. It's 1 versus 1 post plant now. So low HP here for Upor. He's ducking in wide DV. Oh my goodness, the ace for Upor. No way he pulls that off. And Secret in the 1 versus 1. A 2 versus 4 clutch. And an ace from Upor sends Heroic out.
What a game. Upor just really just took it all.
What the hell? That ending!
Heroics round, man. That was so heroics round, and Upor was just there. And you guys, chill. I have it.
June went 10 and 2 and lost. I am
what have we
dead.
Just witnessed?
I am dead after that round. Luda?
Luda? What?
Leader, and oh my god,
wow.
I'm gone. Leader and Noodle. Goodness me, that is a Yukin game. That is a Yukin game right there. Leader and Noodle force it through, and I'm dead.
Crazy.
I can't believe that we've got another game after this. I truly can't. This is this is outrageous. And
can it get any better?
I don't think it can get any better. That has to be the game of the bracket. There's no way that there's another game that tops that. Surely. I mean,
wow.
Secret, you've got another chance to prove me wrong, I guess, as they make their way through to the lower bracket semi-finals, I believe. It gets confusing when there's a lower bracket. There's too many rounds. There's a lot of rounds, a lot of games they have to play. I'm going to have a quick look and see who it is they have to play, because we should have their matchup ready. It will be Wild. So Team Secret versus Wild is the next one. M&M Gaming lost their game against Wolves in the upper bracket, and they will be facing off against BDS in the lower. And so it's Virtus Pro versus Wolves as the upper bracket semi. That is a game that will determine a team making it to the R6 Combine playoffs. So if you're keen to see that one, head on over to the official broadcast. They'll be covering that fairly soon, but we're going to stick around with the lower bracket games. We'll take a choose. Yes. You know, M&M Gaming versus BDS, Wild versus Team Secret. We'll decide behind the scenes, won't we, Drake? So for the time being, let's just head on to a break screen, and we'll see you guys in a few. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Okie dokie. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another game. We have the Blast R6 EU League Closed Qualifier. I'm Jerry. I am joined here by the wonderful Drake, who will get up on the screen right now. We're running the production. We're doing everything here today, but we are being sent this feed by the wonderful Void as well, who deserves a shout out for doing all of our matches, observing all of the matches just by pure coincidence that we wanted to follow. So big shout out to her. And Drake, Wild versus Secret. We just had an incredible game. Surely can't be topped from Secret.
Maybe it can. Who knows? Because, you know, it's against Wild, and arguably Wild has had one of, I would say, the best starts into EUL that we've had in quite some time. So it will be a challenge, but hey, we've just seen Secret, and especially YouPorn in the very last round, you know, live up to the names, more or less, or even grow out of the names. So, you know, why not do it again against Wild?
Yeah, definitely possible.
I'm up for it.
I'm up for it. I'm up for a good game. And I'm up for seeing these map bans as well. As once again, it just says team instead of Team Secret. But we have the map bans feeding on through. So let's just talk through these very briefly. Now, the interesting thing about these two teams is that they've literally played one game against each other in the past forever, right? Because Wild's sort of entry into the scene was only in stage 1. And they played one best of 1 against each other. It was a 7-4 that went Wild's way on Chalet, I believe, as part of the group stage. So there's really not much to go on with regards to like how these teams match up against each other. But they seem to be in kind of similar camps ability-wise. They both didn't quite make it to the Copenhagen Major, but they won't be ashamed of the runs that they had during that stage 1. And it is back that we are heading to, as I completely ignore the map ban phase.
That's absolutely fine, because, you know, doesn't matter what we're playing on. I think Bank is, it's a big map, and Theme Park kind of was too, so maybe Secret are already sort of like dialed in and focused in. But I do love the knock ban, because Wild just straight up know that knock on Bank is just, it's no fun.
Yeah, no, Nook is just...
You don't want to have it.
Nook is outrageously good on Bank.
Yes.
There's no reason you shouldn't bring Nook on Bank if she's available. So seeing her out of the picture makes perfect sense. Monty, also an interesting ban. We have seen it a few times today, and it seems to be climbing in popularity because it's genuinely one of the best ways of dealing with a lot of the horrible things that defenders can throw at you now. You think about a Solace, for instance. You get that extra mobile drone by having a Monty in play. You think about the FNAT mines, and if you're facing down a one-sided gunfight, it helps to have an invincible barrier in front of you. So there's lots of different things that you can use a Monty for, and on this map in particular, especially good at ascending those spiral stairs for a CEO take and taking full control of the top floor very quickly. But like I said, we're not going to see him in action now because he's just so strong on this map. Very versatile. You can use it for that basement take as well. But let's get into what is being taken, and something has caught my eye.
Yes,
I'm really hoping that it is stuck with, and we do have it on a player that is known for taking slightly odd picks as a player. So 3, 2, 1.
Looks good.
We have Grim, ladies and gents. Hungary has stuck the bees, and we will get to talk about the bees. I've always wanted to talk about the bees in a game, and this is the first opportunity I get to talk about the bees. So let's see if the bees work for Hungary and his bees.
It's, dude, I have to say it straight up. I love Wild for the way they're playing Siege.
Oh yeah, it's fast.
It's just fantastic. It's fast. There's no fiddling around. They're going straight in. They know what they want to do, and they're just gonna do it. And just by Ace's, appearance on the top floor, you can see Secret. They just have to respect that. They just have to move down and down and down. They're just gonna be pushed off, and it's just, I love this. This is really straightforward. I appreciate this kind of playstyle.
Yeah, it works as well for them, or at least it was working in the early stages of Stage 1. And then they maybe got a little figured out. And that was a bit of a problem, and there have been a number of sort of critics of Wild as of late. So we'll get to see if they can sort of silence those critics as the attacking comes thick and fast. They are in the site. It's a minute into a Wild game. What do you expect? Savage takes down Aces. and we're in that 4 versus 4. The bees are still live and ready to be deployed at any given moment, and I really hope we get to see them hungry, lurking above one of these hatches. We'll be able to force out anyone playing in any power positions. And to be honest, this basement, good place for the bees, because you can have a decent guess at where those power positions are going to be. And if you force an engagement, say, on these blue stairs, or in the red hall, or wherever, just at different stages through your push, then these bees can be very advantageous. They can lock players in location, or give you that easy kill based on the live pings that they produce when defenders run through them. But looks like we're going to have to wait a little bit longer. First, Cowan Hive goes out. It will lock out the entirety of that red hallway. Look at it. Grubby gets a front seat view, front row seat, rather, of this bee action. Savage, though.
Cute.
Looking to ascend. This could be a bit of a cheeky one.
It's just Wild really taking the time by now. But, hey, fair enough. You have to open hatches. You have to clear that server. There you go. There is another pair of bees. And, you know, you can't do anything against it. And poor Noodle is literally getting punched. That nade did not make any damage? How?
Somehow.
Well, they gotta push him out. They're gonna get him. I would say easy snacks for Wild. Like, this is pretty straightforward. But
Savage.
We do see Savage, and this is a position that has been hurting so many teams before. And if they're not aware of it, it's just gonna hurt Wild. And I do have a feeling that this is the thing, because 15 seconds, they're deep inside, but what can it do? And there you go. Savage first kill gets down, though. And with that, there still is a chance for all this, because
Hungry.
8 seconds.
Hungry going big, and he does have the opportunity to plant, and Teb is holding the cross, and there it is. Takes down Grubby, who is lurking inside of the gold vault. Great push when it came to the final few seconds from Wild. They did a lot of quick early work, then took their time, and then in the last possible moments, sealed the round for themselves. So, yeah, interesting. Maybe they have been working on their timing. Maybe they've been working on their flow. It seemed very well coordinated. And honestly, Grim locking out the entirety of Red Hallway for pretty much the final minute. That's not bad. I like it. I do like it. But then, at the same time, Capital does the same thing, you know? Like, you can just say,
you know, just without the spotting.
Yeah, it kills the person that goes into it anyway, so, yeah. There's arguments to be had, but we're seeing a viability, at the very least, of Grim, which is exciting to see.
It's just, you gotta appreciate that some teams are just, you know, open for different operator lineups. You just gotta respect it. That's the truth. And I do think that, you know, Grim might not be the operator with the biggest impact possible. I just, you know, just seeing teams utilizing that utility and actually making a play with it, it's just, I love it. I love to see new things, because we're far into Rainbow Six Siege. Like, this game has been alive for so many years, and it just amazes me how pro teams still, like, find little nooks and crannies and just change up the game in some way. I love it.
Innovation is just so exciting in a game this old, and even on a map this old, it's had a few rework. It's had that little rework, but yeah, you're still seeing little inventions coming through. Aces
again.
Down leader. Another entry kill for this prolific gunner. I mean, we don't need to talk about Aces. Like, he's so well known. He's been around for so long, and he's never stopped being good. Teb taking out Grubby as well. So the Warden and the Solace dealt with in the first 30 seconds. That's not a good start for Team Secret, and they've had some really tough games. That game against Heroic really pushed them to the limit. I'm just thinking, Wild on paper a better side for my money, and it looks like they are just taking full control of this round. Secret might be up against it here.
It's just no fun to take a gunfight against a white-headed Iana on the skylight.
Yep.
You're just basically shooting nothing.
You're shielding your eyes at this point. It's blinding me! Yeah. It's it's a horrific fight to take, and Jegs will win those 10 out of 10 times. Upor and Savage are last alive. Interesting combo. I'm just thinking about the history of these two players. Upor, virtually unknown this time a year ago, got his shot inside of Victus, and he gets shot down by Aces. So he says, you know, I've been around a little bit longer than you, mate. I know how to shoot straight. And Savage, the last alive, trying to contend with Teb, but Teb, Italian, takes down the Portuguese man. Ronaldo sat down, and he says, wow, that's a quick round. That's a very quick round from Wild. That's something we have to come to expect, right? They've set the pace.
Yeah. And it's so clean. You just gotta love it. It's just, I don't know, those 50-50 gunfights, so to say, where, it's essentially 1v1, because that's what we've basically seen. None of these gunfights were, a lot of teamwork involved, which is obviously an arguably thing, I can go on for that. But it's 50-50 gunfights, and WoW they just win it. They just go for it, and they win it, and they have more confidence. And that's a point where you gotta sit there and say, maybe that 8-7 all the way overtime theme park, actually really tough game, maybe has taken a few things away from them, because you gotta lose something in there, some concentration has to go, essentially.
It's a strange thing to say about a pro team, that one best of one might affect the confidence, might affect the stamina, but we all saw that game, right? There was no opportunity to be switched off, and
if we're exhausted as casters, just imagine how the players feel.
That will have a toll on the players. So, but more importantly, Wild are putting up a really good effort here. Secret, I have to respect them. They have not switched off at all. That was a decent round in terms of the mentality. They said, okay, this first round we did a lot of sitting back on site. We tried to run down the timer and we lost it. Wild's take was really strong. They have the bees. We don't know how to handle that. So they decide, okay, we're going to aggress a bit more. We're going to try and control the top 2 floors and make sure that we win the early gunfights, then fall back and maybe rest on that man advantage. But, sometimes aces happens. Sometimes jegs happens. And you can't do enough about it. They maybe got themselves into fights that weren't quite as even-sided as they had hoped. So you have to watch out now for what Wild are going to bring, because they've decided basement is not good enough. Go up to the top floor and bring along the Fenrir. First time we've seen Fenrir brought out by Secret on this map, and I'm looking forward to it, because there's a lot of very cheeky places you can hide those massive open areas, not just open area itself, but the corridors on the top floor that can be deadly if an attacker walks into one of those FNAT mines.
It's just interesting to point out that Wild is not really going for the top floor up until now, because, Aces on the Ace, by the way, fitting, has spotted the mirror window exactly there. That's an interesting trade.
Yeah.
Why did that even happen? Am I blind?
I looked away. I could not tell you. But it's losing one hard breacher, which is not ideal for the attacker at all. The attackers at all. They do have, of course, the not Macy J setup, where you open up these walls inside the site and play from distance. They've got the castle barricades. They've got the mirrors to look towards the setup or the approach from Wild. Nice fight won there by Leader as he holds on to this this admin office area. And I was mistaken, as I said that it was a top floor defense. Teb was walking through sight just there and gets dropped on by Noodle from the top floor. That took a moment to process. All right, that took a moment to process. Everyone's in weird places. Jegs does take out Grubby, who is walking through tellers for some reason. I'm slowly losing it here. There's a player still on vert for the defense as well, so they have an option here, as Jegs will try and walk through with Hungry breaching his way into admin office. I don't see, honestly, Wild getting through this. They can't know about the player above. They're going to be at risk from the vertical. They're trying to tackle the players inside of open area with only 30 seconds left. They don't really have an opportunity to plant safely unless they can worm their way back here behind the cafeteria. They do know roughly where Noodle is, as that nade will tickle him, and Jegs has found a safe plant spot. I feel like Secret have played this too passively now. They've let it slip through, and it is now a 2 versus 3 post plant. Hungry holding the flank, knows exactly what U-Paul's up to. Jegs takes out Leader, and the last one alive is Noodle. Secret, what has happened? They just let this one slip away from their fingers, and now Noodle, in a 1 versus 2, has to retake against these high-powered ARs with high optic zooms. It's so difficult. He's got the UMP. Could be the gun for the job, but we all know the old saying about the UMP. He's going to try and find a way through. He's managed to worm his way around, but with only 13 seconds left, he'd have to find both kills, and he can't find either. Jegs holds firm. Wild in a 2 versus 3. I wrote them off, but Secret just waited and let them plant.
I'm trying to find a reason why they did that. Yeah. I'm genuinely trying to find a reason, but it's not existent. Because, I kind of started this with why just not wanting to take top floor, because there's mirrors that don't want to invest into that. So they're just going to go in on the objective, which arguably didn't work in the first place. But then they just calmed down. And I think that was like, they kept secret guessing where they are, and somehow this perfectly worked out. It's I don't know, it's a miracle, possibly? I don't know. I have no I mean, actual explanation to how Secret handled that.
Let's not discredit Wild, right? No. That was wonderfully done by it was Jegs and Aces, right? Or Jegs and Teb. Jegs and Hungry. Jegs and someone.
Jegs and someone, yes.
Jegs and someone.
Aces was dead, that I can tell you.
Okay, so Jegs and someone. I think it was Jegs and Teb. Jegs and Hungry. It was an ace. There was an ace. My memory fails me. But either way, Jegs was the one that collected a lot of the kills at the end. So that's why I remember him. But either way, just well played in the 2 versus 3. That's the point I was trying to get to. Took me way too long. Here we are now, though. This is actually a top 4 defense. Let's get that right. Let's get that straight. An actual top 4 defense coming out from Team Secret as they just rotate through everything. Something's got to work, right?
You would argue so, yes.
You'd hope.
Yeah. I mean, if nothing works, you just gotta, you know, keep going. Like, literally, just keep going. Switch through the spots and just hope that something eventually will work. Because, obviously, if you keep playing the same spot, like, let's say they would keep playing basement, then Wild will just change up. They won't do the same thing. They're good enough to actually have a read on this that Secret is gonna try the same thing over and over again. So, you gotta change it up. And we do see Wild kind of slowing it down, and as I said, what just happened?
Well, I mean, they were slowing
I
it
know
down.
that he jumped out, but...
Well, Savage just didn't hit his shot, did he? You know, you're the one with the advantage going for that jump. You know that you're the one taking the gunfight, and the timing's on your side, but loses out. Teb finds Noodle in the meantime. Looks like there was a hold of drones on Noodle, potentially. The 1-eye taken out of the picture. 3 versus 5 now. And Team Secret, they are really struggling in this match. Half the round gone. Got a few yellow pings going out just to say, oh, there's a drone here, there's a drone there. Leader, I think he's doing this right. He needs to try and find this pick. He knows that there are people coming up main. He's got the support of Upor now, going for the play. And there's Upor from above, getting the support that he needs. Grubby is the one to take down 2, in fact. That was the other side. And Leader finds the kill on Teb. The swinging from Jegs doesn't work as a refrag. And suddenly, Hungry, the last one alive. How did Wild throw that away? Upor carrying the team. In fact, the whole of Secret really just swinging for the fences and making it work. Grabbing their first round on the defense. But Wild, what a fumble.
Confused.
Very confused.
Like, that's not very Wild-like.
No.
To just go in and hope for the best. It was, fair enough, it was well played by Secret. You know, don't discredit them. But that should have not happened.
We didn't get to see Grubby's 2K either. Like, Grubby clearly killed 2 people coming in from that, like, from the square side.
Yeah.
So maybe it was just heroic. So maybe they just didn't know where he was. You look at a 2K in the kill feed and you think either he's played an absolute worldie there, or they had no idea where he was. And if they had no idea where he was in a 5 versus 3 with that much time on the board, that's on you, Wild. You can't be letting that happen, right? If it was just a worldie from Grubby, which he's been known to do, then hats off. Fair play. But we don't know. The main thing is that retake of a Spiral was beautiful.
It was. Beautiful executed. Like, it's a thing against Wild. You just can't sit on side and just wait for them to do stuff, because then they will do stuff to you, which is not fun. But you have to work against it. You know, you have to play against them aggressively. You have to face them. You just have to be, in your own mind, you have to be, I am the better player. I'm going to swing you, and you're going to regret sitting there. That's the way you have to play against Wild, and that's exactly what they just did, and it worked out. So maybe, just maybe, that's Team Secret figuring it out how to play against Wild. And, you know, possibly securing at least one more round, which they sort of definitely need. Like, 1 round more is the bare minimum.
Quick one.
And
we've got a rush
Wild
going
is doing
through.
Wild things, but there is the Fenrir gadget.
Yeah, it's going to slow them down for certain. Noodle takes out Packball, who was holding onto the fuser, but Grubby has been downed as he finds Teb. 2 versus 3 is this chaos ensues as the walk into Printer doesn't quite go Wild's way. Holding firm, though, Hungry's patience is rewarded as Savage wanders into that sightline. And now a 2 versus 2 effectively with Grubby unresable. A couple of bullets. No, I was wrong. Grubby is certainly resable, and up he goes. Now, the rest of the team need to get onto site as Noodle is the only one holding the line. Jegs takes him out and takes out Upor as well. All up to Grubby now, who was rescued just a moment ago as Jegs and Hungry once again take control of open area and try and set down this diffuser. Grubby circling round, trying to find his way through. Has the Warden gadget, can see through this smoke now as it activates and can spot the head, but no, can't connect with Hungry. Jegs still sitting inside of sight, and this is effectively a crossfire, but it does mean that Grubby can try and isolate these 1 versus 1 fights. He doesn't maybe know that this player is backing on out of the sight, doesn't spot the one rotating into Printer either. Turns off those goggles as they expire. This is a corner play inside of sight from Hungry. This is a very difficult situation now as it looks like Wild have set themselves up very cleanly for these final few seconds. Shoots out the Claymore, does get the swing round. Can he connect with the second? Almost, but no, can't quite manage it. And the timer hits 7 seconds. Jegs would have won that anyway, but he seals it with the kill regardless. And that is yet another Wild attack going their way. Despite the fact that that rush was really scuffed, Jegs just hauled them back into it.
It's insane how Wild can pull rounds out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's the second time that we're in a 2v1/2v2 post plan. And I have to say, Wild positionings in post plans, dude, flawless. As that one player in the defense trying to retake side, trying to get the diffuser disabled, Wild is not giving you a chance. Straight up. No chance. You can try it, but you're not going to succeed. And heads off to that. Like, that is crazy. That's the round where arguably, with that failed rush, Wild should have not gotten it, but they got it anyway because they just kept it cool. They just, you know, didn't panic, I would say. Just, you know, Hungry, sitting in Printer and just, you know, kind of holding angles. It worked out.
Yeah. Jegs is a player that's not been known to panic either. Like,
yes.
that is, he is so cool. Is that an actual cucumber? A Finnish cucumber, if you will. And he is just the person that you want in that situation. Hungry backing him as well. You know, that pair of solid shoulders to sit on. And you can piggyback your way to victory with any duo. That is a wonderful pairing that has emerged during this game. The post-plant duo, it seems. So, yes. The basement defense now is Secret's final attempt to get something on the board here. They already have one, only one, so far this half. Grim returns, as Hungry is very keen on leveraging those Cowan Hive launchers, or the bees, as they are effectively known. Jegs takes out Savage.
Look at that.
Ex-teammate dealt with, both from 10-star back in the day, and it's Jegs that will win out that duel. So, very good early pick, and that is the go out of the picture. Of course, losing that C4, losing the power position at the top floor, not what you want for Team Secret if you're starting this round.
It's just, that top floor take from Wild, it just, in an instance, and it works so many times. No chance against that. You just have to.
Oh.
You know, you have to flee. What is this?
What is going on?
What are you doing with the shotgun?
Noodle comes swinging out of open as well and takes down Aces. I don't think they were expecting that. Can't shoot back with a shotgun at that range, especially a suppressed one.
Nah.
So 3 versus 4, and the Secret gunners are still coming out. They're still fighting. It's going to fall back on Leader, Noodle, and Upor, though. You've lost 2 of your biggest gunners in Savage and Grubby, but, I mean, all of these guys can shoot. This is the Ukin scene we're talking about, right? Every single one of them can shoot back. It's so much. I've just noticed as well, like, you've got Jegs playing against Leader and Savage, and then
yes.
Upor and Grubby and Noodle, like, these have all been on, like, Victus and Team 86 in the past. It's just a big melting pot of Ukin happening here. Hungry as well was lurking around Ukin for a while last year, so yeah, there's a whole lot of Ukin here, and Packball back in the day as well. So it's basically a Ukin match again. We've got the Ukin match, guys. It keeps happening. I know Ukin isn't really a thing anymore, but we've got it.
We got it in T1 now.
Yeah, got it in T1. This setup though, this attack setup. What's going on?
It's special. I'm a bit confused. Like, we're once again at the point Wild goes in pretty fast when it comes down to the basement attack. They go in fast on the top, and then they just take their sweet time. And, you know, maybe that's gonna be sort of the pain that they're gonna have, because eventually they have to go in. And that's what they're struggling with right now, but it's still wild. They're just gonna go in and just gonna try the best and shoot around, and that's exactly what's gonna happen. Pekpal's taking a huge chunk of damage because he's just straight up running through fire, smokes, and everything, and then there's an echo. Well, everything is going on right now, and Wild just have to stick it and hope that the Echo Drone is not going to stop it.
The shots through the wall almost tagging him there, but the yellow ping is expired. Hungry does go down. The diffuser is not set. Jegs has to pick it back up with 2 seconds left. He has to stick the diffuser all onto Teb to do all the cover. Doesn't find the Echo, and now Jegs has to hope that no one finds him in the last few seconds, but they can't. It's 1 versus 2 in the post plant. He can't find him. Uqua does secure those downs, and the 1 versus 2 now hits the deck. Tries to hold the doorway. Crawl on out. Jumps up. Down Dupor. And the second 1-on-1v2 clutch from Jegs. Outrageous. And Wild put themselves up 5-1 in this attacking half.
Wild and post plans. What is this?
They're nuts. They're just built different.
That is crazy. It's like the fusers down and the confidence just rises times 10. What is going on?
I've lost it. I'm losing it. That is just... Jegs has won 3 post plants.
Yes.
3 post plants that he should not have really. Oh, man. The man is insane. We don't even have to say pick him up anymore because he's been picked up. Like,
yeah.
He's finally gotten the stage that he deserves. And I could not be happier for him. Because look at that. 10-2, by the way. 10-2.
That guy is having it.
What a
I mean, if you're winning all those post plans, obviously.
Ah, wow. Well, I mean, Secret will be somewhat glad of the drone bug, if anything, because they need to reassert themselves after that. A quasi-tactical timeout being brought in here is, of course, they need to have a bit of a rehost, so we will be jumping on back to our lovely faces for a moment, just to digest that half, and maybe sing Jegs' praises a little longer. Jesus. What is this man made of? What is he having for breakfast? I need it. Like, it's incredible. And Secret.
A lot of questions.
A lot of questions for Secret, all right?
Yeah.
Because they are now 4 rounds down against Wild, and they're turning on to their attack of Bank. This has to be a masterclass from them. We have to see some incredible gameplay. And we've seen that there are players on here who can step up. Upor's clutch at the end of the last game was just monumental. But they need to step up now because it's do or die. This is the lower bracket.
5-1, that's a toughie. I'm not saying that they can't do it because obviously we've seen some really, really good plays on the previous match on Theme Park from Team Secret. But that's toughie. You're going on attack. Arguably, Bang can sometimes be attack-sided. I've seen enough of those games. But it's just going to be Wild on a big map like Bang. They're going to be wild. Like, they're living up to the team name. 100%. And Team Secret, I'm going to call it very likely going to be struggling with that. Because they're good players. They're a good team. But it's just, Wild is just going to be completely running around. And I have a bad feeling that they're just going to, play ranked. Which essentially can just completely work out. It's a
little bit derogatory to say just ranked. I've been called up on that before, which is why I say it. But yeah, it's ranked plus, right? They have an additional level of coordination, an additional level of just go get them, basically. And it's the kind of play style that has a ceiling, and we've seen that, right? Because there are a lot of teams that come out here, even in this meta, and try and drag this kind of like really in your face, like just complete disregard for everything playstyle over the line, and it works against lesser teams, right? That's how it works. That's how the game works. You can beat a lesser team with that strategy. But the problem with Wild that I have is that sometimes they continue with this and they meet their match, and that's not necessarily a problem with the players or a problem with the team. I think it's a problem with the philosophy. So you meet up against a G2 or an informed BDS, who, they're not informed right now, we'll call it that. But you meet up against these bigger sides and in international events, if they eventually get there, which I think is probably on the cards for a while, and that will have its ceiling, right? You'll need to be able to counter your teams more effectively. And I do love that they have all bought into this this mindset that Sleepy and Juice have kind of carried forward from the original Wilds team and taken it into stage 1. That was the most impressive thing for me, was that even with this big regroup, they've kept that identity and they made it work in tier 1 to an extent for themselves. So You love to see it, and I think every league needs a team like Wild. They're a hell of a lot of fun 100%. To watch.
Yeah, I mean, I can only remember the old Apex days where just you come to an international event and you know Apex gonna do crazy stuff, and sometimes it's gonna work, and it's just, I don't know, it gives a kick. It's a nice feeling that someone is doing something different. The game is being played different every now and then. It's not the same old stuff over and over again. And you gotta appreciate that, and you gotta respect that. But on the other side, I completely agree with you. You can't keep going like that forever, because eventually teams will find a way around this. But all that being said, Team Secret have to find that way around, like literally right now, or else they're out of this.
Yep, 2 rounds is all it takes for a while. 2 rounds, and I could see them taking it. We have a further pause, unfortunately, as we come back into the game, just to sort something out. I have no idea what it is. Maybe someone on Wild took a longer toilet break than they needed. I don't know. It happens, even this year one. But we are back in now, so time will elapse. And we are going down to the basement for the first defense for Wild. Let's see how it works for them on this side. We do have a couple of interesting things being brought out. We don't see a Fenrir, but we do see an interesting new gadget that we haven't talked a lot about. The Observation Blocker, which, if you're unaware, is a secondary gadget that operators can now bring, certain operators, and it will create a kind of wall, a little opaque screen along the floor that drones cannot see through as an attacker. If you're walking into them as a player, as an operator, you can see through them just fine, but they create a kind of a barrier of intel. They can be shot out, so pretty easy to deal with, but it enables sort of power positions, rat plays, anything you like. There's all sorts of things that you have to do, and maybe, you know, you put it in a cheeky little corner, say like the corner of lobby or whatever, what have you. It forces attackers to have to drone right into that corner before they can be certain. It wastes a bit of time, and that's probably one of the best things that you can do as a defender. But, you know, this is tier 1. We're getting to see this option in play for the first time with these teams. Yeah. So I'm excited to see if there's any innovation. But Aces, he brought those gadgets, he set them down, and he's not innovating at all. He's just jumping out of square window. How many times have we seen that?
Too many.
Too many.
Possibly.
Doesn't get his kill.
I mean, it's Aces. What else are you expecting? He's doing the Wild stuff. I think it's actually a very interesting point that Wild and Team Secret both bring the Amaru on those basement defenses with the shotgun. And they just go straight up, top floor, easy clear. Like, we've not seen a top floor clear that took, what, more than 20 seconds? It feels like this is super fast, and Noodle's just continuing down. He's just completely clearing the whole map just by himself.
Yeah, this is what you want to do, is because, of course, Amaru, similar to Oregon taking tier 3 very quickly, it just affords you that map control as quickly as possible. You jump into CEO, you clear through from there, and then the shotgun actually comes into its own when it comes to pushing down those stairs. Here's that observation blocker in action. You can see the Yana replicator kind of counts as a drone. It's an observation tool. So, walking up to that blue stairs, you don't know if there's someone playing very aggressive on the doorway or not, because you have to round the corner to find out with a drone. Or with a body, and that's even riskier. So, very nice use of it, if you ask me. And you've got, of course, the ADSs and things to protect it from being exploded, from being destroyed by other means. So, shooting it involves peeking it as well. Very, very nice position for that observation blocker to be in. But it looks like Team Secret are having none of it. They don't want to bother with those blue stairs anymore. They've rotated fully to a lobby side to take.
Understandably, you just don't want to, you know, smoke on blue stairs, just no fun, even though he has lost his shield. But yeah, it just makes sense to scoot around a bit and go for that garage and main stairs side of, you know, doing stuff and dropping hatches and all this. But Wild is like super aware of everything. Like, they're just complete, and as I say that, they're not aware of the swing. Grubby is just completely going in, just not giving it.
Noodle finds one. Hungry, though, taken down as he took one out himself. But very nice collapse from Secret as they just swarm in. Down the elevator, down the main stairs, down the hatch. Wild weren't ready for it. Not one bit. They were expecting a little bit more of a blue-sided take. That's where the early pressure was. And they were caught out. Just not a quick enough reaction from Wild. And that's A good round on the board from Team Secret. They certainly needed that after the side swap and the extended tech pause.
Indeed. And they're just gonna crawl their way along those lines, just round after round, because that's the only thing that you can do. Just, you know, work it and try to get that round win every single time, and if it doesn't work out, yeah, well, you go on, you try to beat that match point multiple times, but yeah, it's gonna be difficult, and I do love that Wild is just gonna continue going through the spots, because basement, I wouldn't say it was poorly played, but it was poorly written how Secret played it. And, you know, just going to open, which I think is actually one of the most beloved sites on this map. I think, at least, because you have a lot of freedom.
I really like this site, and I'm looking forward to seeing how Fenrir is employed on this top floor again, this time by Wild.
Yeah.
Of course, very useful. Like I said, big open areas is where he thrives. If you can set down one of those Fenrir gadgets in a no man's land and just create a completely one-sided gunfight as soon as anyone is triggered into it. You get the sound cue, just like a proxy alarm with added teeth, and you just swing off it, get yourself your free kill. Very, very useful, especially with this kind of setup that we're seeing. No mirror being brought by the defenders, so they have the castle set up to prevent anyone walking in. Teb finds the opening frag, though, as Noodle just sent on into meeting without a care in the world, and the janitor player will just mop him up.
It was like, oh, there's no mirror window. No danger. There is danger.
You were wrong.
Yes. Proven wrong, indeed. And that just really slows down Team Secret's attack now, because obviously the plan was to go in to clear the top floor really fast again, and that just straight up didn't work, and now they have to find a way around Packpool, just getting some shots, and sort of like eating them up. Gonna retreat back to side because Tab is still upstairs, and he's gonna try to hold up here as long as possible, because that hatch obviously is open, and you want to try to keep the hatch under your control.
Oh no, that's a bit of a whiffed flash, and it gives Teb the opportunity to escape with the shotgun through both hatches. He's gone all the way down. One missed flash costs them a kill. Team Secret need to do better, unfortunately, just has to be said. 4 versus 5 as well, and that could have been a big swing moment, but now they have to take a slightly more direct route. In fact, Upor is going to peek on in to the admin office. They have the vertical play at the very least. That ground surrendered is beneficial for them at the very least. They're trying to work things out. Of course, they don't have the buck. Died too early, so it's going to make the vertical angles a little bit more difficult to establish, but they will find a way. There's always a way. It's even possible without breaching charges. You've got your bullets as well. Just shoot through the floorboards where you need them. Or shoot through the barricades, as Jegs has found out, because you can just find a kill onto Savage. That backwards kill, that duel that's happening is always going Jegs' way, but Grubby finds Jegs in response. Ace is taking out Grubby. Again, just a chain of refrags coming out from both teams, and it's left Team Secret in a 2 versus 4. They know someone's on main stairs, but he doesn't know which way, and that's so deadly. He can't walk into it because there's so many possibilities. Drops through a logic bomb. Leader now finding himself in those dread mines. This is the setup paying off for Wild. Upor left in the 1 versus 4. His players above him, to the side of him, in front of him. He's surely a rat in a cage, and that rat is being drowned very, very gradually. Hungry will put the rat out of his misery. A bullet to the body of Upor, and Wild on match point.
No chance for Secret there. Let's be honest. No chance. Wild just sitting on side. I never thought I'm gonna say that, but Wild just sits there and waits for Team Secret to come, and then just wins gunfights.
It's a good setup.
Yeah, I mean, if it works out, right. It proves to be something that has a good idea, and really just, you know, makes wonders happen, so to say.
So this is what I mean when I say, and I'm going to keep saying this, that Fenrir is kind of like Mirror, right? You often see that setup with the castle, and you use mirrors instead, looking towards Printer, looking towards Cafeteria. But now you've got those dread mines, and they're just like mirror windows, except you can't find them. You don't know where they are. They're more flexible, they're more deadly, and they're more annoying. And if you put a Fenrir gadget, in an area that you would usually control with a mirror window, you get exactly the same benefit, I would argue.
Yeah.
Right? But better. So there, we've seen a little bit of innovation. And this is what I mean. I'd like to see from these teams, these tier 1 teams, coming out for these quals. First time we see them in action with Ephemera, exactly what that innovation is. We saw a little bit of it on the observation blocker as well earlier. Not that that's, you know, a wild thing that they can, like, stamp their copyright on. Everyone's kind of doing that. But it's good to see that the Ephemera is being employed in a very smart way now.
Yeah.
6-2.
Yeah, Secret's on a tough mission here. It really feels like they're not playing bad or anything. I think they're actually having a pretty solid game. It's just once it's against Wild, and second they just had one hell of a game on Theme Park, which definitely I think we can see latest by now that this took something from them. Like their energy definitely is not the same as if they just would have won Theme Park 7-2. But on the other hand, I'm really gonna stick with it. I'm saying I don't think they're playing bad. It's just Wild are better at this point. That's just the truth.
Cheeky attempt at a Kaid Claw, Electro Claw trick, but it's on a hatch that no one's near. Both the other hatches being opened by Noodle with those secondary breach charges, or hub breach charges, what I should say. Peggle holding close on this blue stairs position, and it's going to be Grubby's task to try and empty him out. Not as much protection on that position as you're used to seeing. Sending out the Yana replicator. There's one ADS. Detonates the single toxic gas canister that he has so far. Throws out another. Gonna come back. Just enjoy the dance while it lasts.
Yeah. I mean, Smoke Player is just doing Smoke Player things. That's just the truth about blue stairs, and Tap just completely finishes Savage on that, but Grubby at least gets a refrag. And now they more or less have server control. They just have to, you know, kind of get rid of that Smoke Player, because you can't push into a server if there is a player on blue stairs. You're
Aces.
just not going to do it. It's just not going to happen.
Aces with one when Packball delivers a pump to the chest of Grubby there. Upal will clean out the smoke, but a 2 versus 3 now as Team Secret have to get this over the line to stay in the Combine. 3 versus 2 in favour of Wild. From their perspective, they just need to sit back. They've still got a player up top. Aces is lurking inside of Tellers. I don't think he needs to be doing that. If anything, he needs to be heading back. Upor and Leader, well, they smell an opportunity to maybe try and find him. But Aces, there we go. He heeds my warning. He can't hear me, but he just knows. Got to get back to site. Hold the line. 35 seconds left. Leader holding onto the diffuser by that default plant spot. Can try and walk on in. There is a C4 in the hand of Hungry to contend with. He's going to crawl his way through, but Hungry is the king of the snakes. He's on the floor already, ready to send out that C4. Leader gets up on his feet again to try and take the fights. Maybe doesn't expect one. That is Hungry sending out the C4. You got to know he's there. The call has come through. One above. 9 seconds left. Sends out a flash so that he can go and engage with the player downstairs. But it's the other hatch as Aces delivers the fate of a Secret. And that is it for them. Wild go through to the next round of the R6 Combine lower bracket, and Secret, bye-bye. I wanted to say that in a less mean way, but it just came out horrible.
Oh, well, sometimes you have to stick with it.
Yeah. What a game. Very, very nice game. Fun game. Not quite the theme part that we saw before from Secret and Heroic. What a match that was, but Wild really showing us what they're made of. And that's going to be it for us. We've had a good day though, Drake. What a wonderful set of games, and we can maybe give our thoughts on the rest of the bracket and have a quick look at it. I'll see if I can get it up on screen in a second. But have you anything else to say about that final match? Because that was a bit of a doozy from Wild.
It's just, I don't know. Is there a better way to say just Wild things? It really felt like it. Like they feel home at Bank. It's just they can completely live on it, and you know, just the last round, Ace is sitting with 35 seconds left, and he's still sitting in first floor instead of the basement. That's just Wild things. That's just Ace's things. He's doing that stuff, and they're able to be completely free on that map. And as sad as it is to say, but Team Secret, I don't think they are far enough, so to say, to really work against that yet. I think they have a solid foundation, and I think this team has really, really good future, because there's just gunners. They just have to work and, you know, get to know each other more, get, you know, the basics done, and eventually you will see them beat Wild.
Yeah, it will happen. I've managed to do some production magic, and we can whip on over to the bracket screen. I'll just double check that my mic is working here. Yep, it is, absolutely, and you're clear. So, let's have a look at this. We've got ourselves the upper bracket, which has seen Wolves beat Virtus Pro 7-2 to make it to the playoffs of the R6
Not
Combine.
bad.
They get a very nice, quick and easy pass to go all the way through to those in the end of August. So they just get to watch, take notes, and prepare for that single elim bracket. So that's a very exciting prospect for them. Still have one more team to lock in, though, right now. And it's going to be either Virtus Pro or the winner of the next match, which will be Wild versus either M&M Gaming or BDS, which apparently is still going. This was a quick match, so it makes sense, right? Still going. We're still waiting on M&M Gaming versus BDS. So place your bets. Virtus Pro, I mean, they've been in good form, and I'm honestly surprised to have seen them bested by Wolves in such a manner. I would love to go back and watch that. I'm sure everyone else has been watching a load of those. But yeah, I think now we can kind of end the official broadcasty kind of vibe, and let's just come back to cams and chat for a bit, because there's all sorts to talk about, and I want to say hi to people that have popped by in the stream as well. So yeah, exciting stuff. We've got like a load more qualifiers as well this weekend. You said you might be competing or like something in the weekend. Is this a thing? Maybe.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, all right. Well, sorry to put you on the spot there.
It's
but
just no. My boyfriend, who's literally sitting like what, a meter in the other way.
Hydrax's boyfriend.
I don't think he's hearing you because I have good in-ears, I've paid quite a lot for that. But, they're very likely going to play that. And since we're literally sitting next to each other, I won't be casting, I won't be doing anything. I'll be sitting here and having a good weekend because it's warm as fuck anyway.
Yeah. Well, send him my luck. Hope they do well. Yeah. So I do want to go through the chat now because I was keeping an eye on the chat roughly, but we're casting, it's all sorts of things. Thanks for coming by, everyone. That's all the first time chatters as well that I'm seeing in chat. Thank you very much, and a ton of thanks to all the follows that I've got. There are, I think, probably too many to list, so I'm sorry, I'm not going to say all of you individually, but thank you very, very much for all of the follows that have come in during these quals. It means a lot. I don't stream often, so when I go live, it's probably one of these things. It'll probably be, the next time I go live will probably be on Saturday for the Open qualifiers, which will be very exciting because they're open to all teams in EU, not just the Tier 1 teams that we've had today, or the national teams within the central region that we've seen over the past couple of days. And that means that we'll finally get a kind of good lay of the land for who's hot, who's not in the whole of EU. Very exciting to see some new rosters emerge and just see what's going on in Tier 3. That'll all be on Saturday. So thanks for following. You'll get a notification for when I go live then.
It's even already, I'm just checking, 50 participants for Open Qualifier 1.
Yeah, it's busy. It's looking busy.
That's quite
You know what,
something.
though? I think Brazil outdid us because their Open quals for like the Blast... for the Copenhagen Major, they filled up to something like 120 in like half an hour. The passion in Brazil is unrivaled. It's insane.
It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah. I won't keep you all too long actually because I want to find someone to raid. Let's have a quick look, see who's still going. Probably that M&M game. Let's see who's covering it. I might let's hop around. So
Gibson's taking it.
Gibson's watching it. Okay, we might raid Gibson. Yeah. The thing is that I know that Gibson and Whippet, they'll probably be done. They might be done after this game.
Yeah, true.
If not, then I'll just send you Gibson's way because why not? They're on the final round of M&M Gaming versus Team BDS. It's 6-5. You probably know that because you're probably multi-streaming at this point. But if you're still here, thank you very much. We're going to go off now, and I will set that raid. Let's see. How do I do this? I'm so bad at streaming. Like,
I can't tell you.
It will happen
because I'm not streaming.
Gibson. All right, there we go. So we'll send you Gibson's way. Thank you very much for everyone that came, and we will see you in probably in the weekend. 8 seconds left. Head over. Tell him Jerry sent you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
And